everyone, and welcome to another Tinfoil Tuesday. How you doing? Hope you're having a wonderful week so far, and I'm here to bring you more nonsense from across the internet. Of course, the Velma outfit won today, so jinkies and all that. I have tons of fun stuff from the corners of the internet that you dare not dwell within for us to take a look at, so it should be fun. Welcome, welcome. Let's see what I missed in chat. Halloween Town, thank you for a 3-month streak, says chat. I've been obsessed with the horse anime girl game. I don't even know what that is, but I hope it's fun. Hey, Nemesaur. Phoenix Leftist, thanks for a 7-stream streak. Alted Undying, thanks for 33 months. History Chick, thanks for 51 months at tier 2. Generdy with a 240 stream streak says, Woot, also, random fact, no one needs to know, I wrote a New York goblin into one of my stories, entirely inspired by the fact that goblins in Warcraft all talk with the same New Jersey accent. Yes, I'm weird. No, I won't apologize. I think that's a perfectly good reason to have Jersey, fantasy creatures. I think that's funny. Maybe I'm easy, but I always find that trope funny, where it's fantasy creature, but acting like a modern person of a very specific, like, archetype. I find that funny for some reason. Again, I'm easy. Amber says, been a bad day. Today we've been growing out hair for the better part of a year. When we went to get a trim, we told her just an inch or two, then it out for to let it out for the summer, but that ended up being more like 4 to 5 inches, and she basically gave us a men's haircut. Really sad, but looking forward to stream cheering us up. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. Gotta be careful. You always want to make sure, if you can, to find, like, I guess it's difficult maybe where y'all are. Where I am, there are, like, beauty shops and haircut places that quite specifically advertise themselves as LGBT friendly, and they're very understanding of people, and, you know, it's a good thing to look out for. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor, like the stream. I'd appreciate it. If you want to help support the stream, you can always become a subscriber on Twitch or a member on YouTube. We are working our way towards the next sub-tip goal, or rather, tip goal, for summer costumes, so if you want to get to that, use the tip link. I think that's it. Still working on the medbed video, trying to get that out in the next, let me see, couple weeks, because I have a really busy week coming up. My boss is taking a week off, so I'm picking up much of her hours. So even though this is typically a part-time job that I do, I have like a real job that's a part-time job, I am going to be working 40 hours in a couple weeks, so I'm not going to be able to stream very much that week, unfortunately. But this is like the first time she's taken off in years. So, just letting everyone know, in a couple weeks I probably will only get to stream a couple days that week, but it'll be alright. I'll still do my best, and I want to try and get the video out before then if I can. If not, that'll be unfortunate, but they'll certainly be out before my surgery, so that's good. What else? I think that's it in terms of housekeeping. I accidentally closed, sorry, some of these things. Oops, there's my Opera browser. Probably heard that. Harold Edelman, thanks for 47 months, says 47 months, the Star Trek number, and nothing else. Also, nearly 4 years subscribed. Holy shit, I know, I've been doing this too long. So, get your bingo cards ready. We are gonna play bingo today. And yeah, I think that's it. Let's jump into it. Let me turn the music off. Real quick, Fennikagami with 40 bits says, I was listening to stuff on parents whose kids went no contact, and it got me thinking about something. There's so much intentionality to how some of these parents try to dodge responsibility, that I just don't buy that they're ignorant to what they did wrong. If you listen, they seem way more concerned about how people will think they're a bad person, rather than they might be a bad person. How do we know they aren't faking their cognitive dissonance? Did you watch the video where the therapist reviewed Fuck Them Kids? I like her channel. I forget her name, but she covers a lot of stuff about children who are estranged from their parents as adults, like I am. and how often parents will try to basically do anything to avoid any sort of culpability and why their children don't want to talk to them as adults. Pretty interesting. Is it Dr. Anna? I don't know her name. I can check real quick. But she's pretty good, and she did another video recently about that, reviewing a book called Fuck Them Kids, which is by an estranged parent. What did you say, Dr. Anna? Let me see. Yep, that's her. Psychology with Dr. Anna. Yep, there's the video. Fuck Them Kids, which is quite a title for a book, because you estranged yourself from your children. JP Black, 79 with 40 months, says, I just got great news. I had cancer scare, been dealing with a mass in my neck for a few months. Had surgery yesterday to remove it, and there was no cancer found. I've been so thankful for your content, keeping my spirits up the last few months. Congratulations, that's great news. That's great news. I'm so glad that you're all right. Do I mean psychology with Dr. Anna? Yeah, what did I say? Did I say psychiatry? Or something? Psychology with Dr. Anna? Anyway, so that's her. Maybe check her out. Nemesaur, thank you so much for gifting 20 tier 1 subs. Incredible generosity. We are now on a hype train, 6% to level 6. If you want to help out the hype train, you can always become a subscriber, gift subs, or use bits. All right, let's jump right into it. Here's a quick video about someone who has a unique idea about what methamphetamine does to the human brain.
I've just pulled over driving because something came in that I don't want to miss, and it's super important to share.
This was important enough that she was driving and she pulled over in order to video this. She thought that this was so profound that she needed to stop her vehicle and live stream it immediately.
So I've just understood why so many people are addicted to methamphetamine.
Why are so many people addicted to methamphetamine? Could it be because it's incredibly addictive? And not only addictive, but habit forming in the extreme, in that if you're addicted to it and suddenly stop, you can fucking die? Icky Neko, thanks for 24 months. Baby name. This is a Hanniversary, not a sub baby. But if I missed a previous sub baby, I'll name this sub baby Methamphetamina. One name, like Madonna. Innocuous Blonde, thanks for gifting 2 tier 1 subs.
And what methamphetamine does to the brain. And what it does is it allows us to access higher states of consciousness.
You had a friend that tried to treat his cancer with meth? Are you sure your friend wasn't just addicted to meth? Because that just sounds like your friend was addicted to meth and wanted a reason to use it. Just a thought.
And what happens then is, because it's our original blueprint of our natural state of being.
Methamphetamine, she just said, is the natural blueprint of our state of being. Our natural state, she believes, is a meth head, basically. She thinks that the brain of someone addicted to methamphetamine is our natural state.
And because our bodies recognize it, they want to continue to reach that such high level of consciousness and how good it feels. So then they keep taking the artificial substance to always continue to reach that high, but then they have to take more and more because they can't get there anymore, and then it kills their bodies. So there's a way to help these people, and I know what it is. So if you wanna talk about it, let me know.
Also, welcome back, Swan Croak. I don't know if I've seen you in a while. Nice. Unless maybe you have been around. Maybe I just haven't noticed. Oh, I gotta pause that because it's copyrighted music. But there she is dancing for some reason, so that's cool. Alright, moving on. It's the opposite of chemical fear-mongering, claiming that meth is good for you. It's interesting.
What's up, guys?
You watch all my streams, just mostly not live? Okay. Well, glad you could make it live today. Minute left on the hype train.
D7 back at you. Got a lot going on here. These weather events, obviously, they're manufactured, and we've already proven this by looking just at how these systems are setting up and the operations at play, and then the byproduct, the massive flooding over a foot.
Weather control on the bingo card. Anything to keep from acknowledging anthropomorphic climate change. No, we can't cause change in the climate over a period of over a century, putting greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Clearly we have a fucking weather dominator that just allows us to push a button and create a hurricane. That makes more sense. Bittergrin with 100 bits, thank you. And Mr. Blast, thanks for gifting a sub to Swan Croak.
Foot of rain in some places. We're hearing reports now of North Carolina having massive flooding as well, and then another round hitting Texas on top of what already happened. This, in my opinion, is weather warfare, 100%. That's
not really an opinion. That's just a statement that you think that's wrong.
Been ongoing for some time. And
anthropogenic? What did I say? I didn't say anthropomorphic, did I? That's quite funny.
Even here in the area,
climate change, but it's like a person, and it will make it an ooh-woo person too. Does anyone want to fuck anthropomorphic climate change? Rule 34 is a thing, so statistically that's on the internet somewhere.
Where I'm from,
I meant anthropogenic climate change, not anthropomorphic.
We've been victim of it. You know, they use a lot of different manipulation tactics, rain bombs, the cloud seeding, and targeting.
I cannot say this enough. Cloud seeding will help a storm system that's already primed to rain sooner than it would. It cannot create hurricanes whole cloth. That's not what cloud seeding is. Cloud seeding is not you launch a thing into the air and boom, it's a hurricane. There's already clouds that are going to rain and they're teetering on it, and we're just gonna add enough to get it to start raining sooner. I'm begging people to stop talking about cloud seeding like it can just manufacture storms. Bittergrin says, it's true, I have a weather control machine and decided not to become a trillionaire selling rain to farmers. That is sort of the capitalism version of it, right? Yeah, if we invented a weather control machine, they'd be selling rain to farmers. Of course they would. That's a good way to deconstruct a lot of conspiracy theories, by the way, is saying, what would capitalists do with this technology? And if they're not currently doing that thing, probably not true. Because that's the rule that overall dominates the world the most, is that people with money want to make more money. And they're going to use their power in order to do that by any means necessary. So, there you go.
Areas, hilly and mountainous areas that will catch the runoff really quick, and it stacks up really quick.
I described the villain from Fern Gully. I'll tell you this about Fern Gully. What's his name in that movie? He's Dr. Frankenfurter. Shit, why am I blanking on his name? Tim Curry. Tim Curry is the sexiest industrial smog I've ever seen.
It's almost...
I've never wanted to fuck noxious chemicals in the air until it sounded like Tim Curry.
Strategic when you look at it, some of these areas where these storms pull up and they park and they sit in an area where it's going to cause the most devastation. Just like it just did in Texas, where it came down and it met with the Guadalupe River. It just blew that whole town out. And, you know, the rescue still ongoing. I feel that this is an attack we're going to continue to see. It's one that...
Very tiring listening to this forever and for the rest of my life. Green Guy with a $3 tip says, if bad people had weather control and wanted to affect the South, I think rain wouldn't be the way to go. Just keep it under 50 degrees for 2 weeks and half of them will move.
People need to realize the weather and it being used as a weapon, it's real. I don't think it's going to stop. Look, this is all being controlled by the same powers that be. They control everything. As we call it, the left-right paradigm, illusion of choice. And with Elon, announcing the America Party. He retracted that they officially registered it yet.
Did he? I haven't been paying any attention to that because I'm just not paying attention to Elon at this point. It's not worth the frustration. I know he said he was doing his own party, but yeah, that's not going to work out. Although it would be funny if it pulled any amount of support from Trump. That would be pretty funny. I just don't think it will. Fennikagami says, also, if America had a weather dominator, we'd kill enemy nations with drought and famine. Unfortunately, also probably true.
So I went ahead and I removed that information, but I want to clarify that, but they're still backing it, the America Party.
And Just a Peach says, Tim Curry's also a very sexy devil in Legend. I still haven't watched Legend. I have it. I even put it on once, but I fell asleep because I was very tired. The movie didn't make me fall asleep. The movie was fine for what I caught, but I only watched like the first 10 minutes before I fell asleep. So I gotta watch Legend.
He just hasn't.
He's not an American citizen. Elon was born in South Africa. How would that work? Anyone can start a political party. Also, I'm pretty sure he is a naturalized U.S. citizen at this point. Regardless, he can do whatever he wants. He's a rich boy. He gets to do whatever he wants.
Officially done it yet, he's saying now. And this is all being orchestrated by the same people that just cleared the whole...
Correct, he couldn't be president, but that's it.
Epstein thing. The entire Epstein thing. Try to come out and tell you that...
Oh, the conspiracy theorists are freaking out about there not being a list thing. That's hilarious.
He didn't kill himself, that there was no client list. And this is after Pam Bondi said the list was on her desk.
Pam Bondi lied? What?
Like, man, people need to wake up and they need to rise is what they need to do. And they need to stand on the topics that mean something to them. If they don't make a move, this whole thing goes down the tubes just because of that. Because people are docile and they won't even stand up to protect or defend their Constitution and their rights. And it's very scary at this point. They're killing everybody that disagrees. I get it, but...
They're killing everyone that disagrees. Can you give me an example of someone being killed who disagrees with you about your weather dominator fantasy?
At the same time, you can't be scared, man. We got to stand. We got to find a way to unite and rise and to be able to speak on these topics and expose it. So, yeah, the same people that basically are saying, oh, Epstein's free and didn't do this or that, same ones that just cut Diddy loose.
I don't think they're saying Epstein didn't do illegal things. They're saying he didn't have like a little black book that included all of his clientele. I think everyone's on the same page that he certainly was trafficking and doing awful things. There just isn't a centralized thing that's like, here's all my clients and their phone numbers.
Man, people, it's the same hand, the beast that's doing all this, all these staged events. There's going to be more to come. The big event is about to pop off. Big events. A chain of big events are about to pop off. Are you ready? Is anybody ready? There's so much going on that it'll leave one's head spinning. But join me for the live streams where, again, I've got more time to talk about these things in greater detail and dive down some of these rabbit holes. Prayers going out to all the people out there that are victim to all this stuff. And we got to find a way to rise, man, and stop the madness. Much love.
The first step to stopping madness is getting on lithium. Anyway. Oh, the psychic lady. Is Trey here? Trey, are you here? You'll get a kick out of this. Freyline says, the cause of the disaster in Texas is well known. Climate change caused flooding. The Weather Service didn't put out a warning in time, likely due to defunding. The danger to that camp in the area was well known, but precautions were not put in place because the government didn't want to spend the money. It's almost like we put money into disaster relief for a reason. Crazy. Anyway, so they're gonna psychically read L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology. Let's see how this goes.
Hello, beautiful people. Look who we have here, the wonderful Jennifer Doran at secondmediumjenniferdoran.com. But don't worry about memorizing all that because it's going to be on the screen and in the description box below. And we are, with the help of my lovely son, Eric Medhus, who's on the other side, going to interview a special guest. His name is, really weird, Lafayette Ronald Hubbard. L. Ron Hubbard is, as he's affectionately known as. He was born in 1911, died in 1986. He was the American author and founder of Scientology, a very prolific writer of pulp science fiction and fantasy novels in his early career. In 1950, he authored the multi-million book bestseller Dianetics, and the modern
I always feel like it's a little bit cheating to call Dianetics like a bestseller when he literally makes people in his cult buy the book. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's not like a book people just picked up because they're like, oh, this sounds interesting. Literally, to be a part of the religion, you gotta buy the book. I almost feel like it's cheating. It's like when people are like, oh, the Bible's the best-selling book ever. Like, yeah, a lot of people think their soul depends on it. I don't think that should count. I don't think a book should count if you think you need it to not go to hell.
science of mental health and established organizations to promote and practice Dianetics techniques. I guess that's a long subtitle, but it is. Hubbard created Scientology in 1952 after losing the intellectual rights to his literature in Dianetics in bankruptcy. Wow, I had no idea. He doesn't strike me as a very good, bye Maria, businessman. He would then lead the Church of Scientology, variously described as a cult and a new religious movement or a business, until his death in 1986. Questions for L. Ron Hubbard. Hello, L. Ron. What does he look like? Tell me about his energy and his.
Oh, his energy. He actually does have really great energy. It's, for whatever reason, his aura feels kind of pinkish to me. I don't really know what that means, but
I mean, shouldn't you? You're the one reading it. You telling me you can see the color of the aura, but not what it means? You're not very helpful.
what does he look like? His energy kind of has some pink to it. But
Have I mentioned my favorite director is Paul Thomas Anderson? If you've not seen The Master, which is basically a movie about Scientology and L. Ron Hubbard without saying it, because he didn't want to get sued, I'd recommend it. Watch The Master.
it's just funny, like, bear with me, everybody, today. I have a little bit of a headache, so it makes it a little bit more challenging.
Everybody send her healing energy.
Won't you be my neighbor? Mr. Rogers.
Oh, wow.
So, like, he's like supposedly said, like, look for the helpers, like, I don't know if he's actually really the one that said it, but you look for helpers, like people who are there to help. And this guy, Lafayette, he really does have the feeling of wanting to help humanity.
Oh.
This is where we're going with this. This cult leader who took in millions of dollars from people that he scammed, he really just cares about people. Sure, fine. The next week they'll get in touch with Shelley Miscavige. Is she the one that David Miscavige allegedly, you know?
Oh, that's nice. So
Yeah.
David Miscavige is the current head of the Church of Scientology, and he's a very scary guy for those that don't know.
be love, heart.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah. Oh, that does make sense.
Yes,
Yeah.
green or pink. I don't know which one is which, but which one does what. But I think it's about compassion and kindness. So that's cool. So Elron, is that okay if I call you that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think most everybody did.
Yes.
She's only read the first paragraph of his Wikipedia article. That's the vibe I get from every one of these psychic reading videos, is that the so-called psychic skimmed a Wikipedia page 5 minutes before the start of the stream. And they're like, okay, I got my bullet points. I'll fill in the rest with improv. It's just total horseshit.
I got into Scientologist to help to learn how to manage my practice as a business.
Oh no, is she into Scientology? Oh god, she's into so much crap.
That was how they lured me, well, how they got me interested temporarily, very briefly into it.
Okay, she's out of it. That's good, I guess.
What was the original intention behind the creation of Scientology?
So this is, and I didn't know anything really about Scientology. I really had no idea what their beliefs were, nothing. But, and please, whatever. I'm just giving the messages. But most,
So this lady's about to be on Scientology's hit list. On the bright side, I've heard that Scientology has less power than they used to. Like 20 years ago, if you talked shit about Scientology, they'd come at anyone. They had way more money and resources. But in the last 20 years, the word has really gotten out about what Scientology is all about and their actual beliefs and the point of the auditing sessions and all that. So they've shrunken in influence, and they're less likely to go after you if you're just like some small person. That's not to say if you're like making a TV show about them or a documentary, they're not gonna fuck with you, but like, they're not gonna go after a tiny YouTube channel. They don't have the resources.
organized religions get tainted. No matter how good the intentions are at first, there's some sort of tainting, power, control, greed. There's something happens. And so this definitely did happen here, is what he's saying. The original intention, because really there's a lot of the information was right that he had, and not 100%, but a lot of it was right, and just trying to get the word out there, just trying. There's always that confirming my language thing that happens only with you
Every
usually.
once in a while it does. It's
Yes. It's very strange. So his intentions were good. His intentions.
Green Guy with a $3 tip says, I had a crazy thought. Think about any reference book in the 1950s. You are at work typing, can't remember how to spell anything, gotta pull out a 1950s Google the dictionary. Every office, school, and college had to have all this reference stuff. Oh yeah, that's why encyclopedia sets were huge back in the day. You'd get like a subscription, and every month you'd get charged, and they send you A through B, C through D. Yeah, encyclopedias were big business back in the day.
Intentions were to help humanity. His intentions were to widen people's perspectives, help them remember where they'd come from, is what he's saying his intentions were. But it did get tainted and twisted.
The main thing I got out of it was my first experience learning about the possibility of reincarnation. So I got that benefit out of it. Did you?
I'm sorry, the first time you ever heard about reincarnation was Scientology? Wow. Reincarnation on the bingo card. Hey Ash, how are you doing?
Genuinely believe in the principles you created, or did your views evolve over time?
No, he genuinely believed in the reincarnation, that we were eternal beings. There definitely is a lot that he really.
Have these people ever talked to anyone who didn't have the best intentions? I think that they don't like Democrats. So I think that they've done Democrats before that they think are nefarious. Like, I think they did Joe Biden at some point. Of course, Joe Biden isn't dead, but they've contacted his higher self, which is another woo-woo thing.
Believed. And he says, with anything, stuff evolves over time.
Yeah.
You plant the seed and it grows, and so he did evolve and grow, but the core, like the reincarnation, the eternal being, that he says he kept. He was supposed to remember it. It was part of, Scientology is a big thing for a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
It was
Especially
supposed
a lot
to.
of celebrities like Tom Cruise, for example.
Yeah. Yep. And it was supposed to be here, and he was the vessel that was to bring it.
Okay. So there's this thing when you get up into the higher levels called the Ring of Fire. And people who are studying this level have this briefcase. It's very secretive, and it's handcuffed to them. And what is a Ring of Fire? To me, I bet you it's some reference to how humanity had to get through some horrible cataclysm some destructive force.
Are they talking about the volcano thing where they were trying to put the souls of the aliens that Xenu genocided into the volcanoes, but they went into humans?
But we survived it. And there's a lot of trauma, or engrams, as you would call it, Elron.
I thought it was engrams. It is? Okay. For those that don't know, I assume everyone does at this point, but the story behind Scientology, and by the way, I should mention L. Ron Hubbard was a science fiction author. Anyway, so the religion says that there used to be like a galactic leader named Xenu, and he was like Space Hitler, and he took species from all around the galaxy and he genocided them in Earth's volcanoes. He like took them and put them in volcanoes on Earth and like killed them. And then the souls of the aliens were brainwashed, and then those souls attached themselves to like ancient human beings, like Neanderthals, like precursors to human beings, or primitive human beings, early Homo sapiens. And that's what they call, are those what they call body thetans, I think? And they think that by doing the auditing sessions where they get blackmail on you while you hold the fucking whatever, the fucking thing that measures stuff, they're like, oh, you'll get rid of all your body thetans, which are the alien spirits that are attached to your body. So yeah, that's what this religion believes. It's called an E-meter, the thing they hold. But it tests, I think, electric resistance is what it's actually measuring. Whatever that's called. Anyway, so yeah.
Surrounding that event. Am I off, or is it still a secret?
Oh, yeah. So there's still very much secretive energy around this. So what he is showing me is as far as in earthly terms, human terms, this is a goal. It's something that you can see, that you can strive for, to get this knowledge, to keep going, to keep learning. It's part of the, I guess, cultish energy. Creating that is like, oh, this ring of fire, what's in this briefcase, like that desire to know.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a hook. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, there is a bit of a hook there.
Well, I mean, if you want to help more people,
But-
maybe you have to have a hook.
Oh, 100%. Yes. But there's also, and this is the only thing that I caught a glimpse of when you were asking it, because whatever's in there is still kind of private and secret, but there is something extraterrestrial.
Oh.
There's some extraterrestrial information.
Oh, aliens, you say?
Connected to this,
Yeah.
whatever this ring of fire is.
Oh, wow. I think it's some galactic war.
Yes, something galactic. Yes, something.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how much of Dianetics and Scientology was inspired by spiritual insight versus psychological theory? I mean, how did you come?
Okay. I think that's enough of the L. Ron Hubbard. Not a ton of it, but I don't know. I just think it's funny that they're still trying to do this stuff. Oh, let's see some I believe these are anti-chemtrail activists. So chemtrails on the bingo card. Long shot, but aliens did it. I'm gonna say no because they didn't say that. They were tiptoeing around Scientology, so I'd say no.
Very important that we are aware that weather is being modified, and I know some of you have already told me you were at the Hyde Park protest on the 21st, and you are.
Benekagami says, call it conspiracy theory, but I believe the Trump administration is lying now and that the Epstein client list did exist, but they don't want to release it as a favor to not just Trump, but also his rich friends. I mean, we saw a redacted version during the trial, and it really doesn't make sense for him to not have one. He was a power broker. Now, whether or not it still exists is more up in the air, though. I'm not gonna... you don't want to hear my opinion on this, because I feel like you're gonna be mad at me. I don't want to say my opinion on this, because everyone's gonna be mad at me. So I won't.
Aware about the geoengineering, the weather modification that's going on in our skies. And it's been very difficult to find out what's going on. There was a petition, 160,000 signatures. I'm sure you're aware of that. And then there was a debate in Parliament on the 23rd of June, which I attended. Ros Savage, a Lib Dem MP who's very interested in the environment, spoke on behalf of the petitioner. An elderly lady who lives in North Wales called Antoinette Taylor got the petition up. Unfortunately, she's not very well and wasn't able to travel. But I was able, with another activist, to speak for her. I was able to brief the MP, Ros Savage, and got some of our points across during the debate. But the point is that there is an agency called ARIA, the Advanced Research Inventions Agency, has been set up, and I've since discovered that they have been given £85 million by the British government, our taxpayers' money, to research interventions that are depriving us of our precious UV light and
I'm so tired.
depriving us of sunshine.
We are sleepwalking, not even sleepwalking, we're sprinting towards climate catastrophe. And to be clear, I think a lot of these, like, the developments they're trying to do to mitigate it are, like, missing the point entirely. At the point that we need to mitigate it, it just feels like we're fucked anyway. But even so, as we are sprinting towards climate disaster, some people are in fields trying to figure out how to mitigate these things. For instance, there are some labs that are looking into putting artificial cloud cover to try and block certain levels of UV radiation to try and keep it at a nominal level that would be safe for people and to keep as much heat from getting trapped. It would basically bounce some of the, you know, stuff back out of the atmosphere before it hits the ground. I don't know how effective any of that stuff could be. I'm not a scientist, but the fact that so many of these people look at people desperately trying to save other people from the results of climate catastrophe, and they're crying about it, that they think that's the problem, is incredibly frustrating to me. And I've never had a lower view of humanity than I do currently. Like, I just got nothing.
Affecting crop yields, it's affecting the way that we can grow things in our gardens, and it's affecting our health, because vitamin D is essential for everything.
Yes, ma'am. No one is saying that they're going to block out the sun, Mr. Burns style.
Now, I'm delighted that we've got a bit of sun now. Get your kit off, guys, so you've got as much vitamin D hitting your bodies as possible. Vitamin D is essential.
Green guy with another tip says, Google must not have been good for some religious people telling kids God stuff. Kids wouldn't go to the library, use the Dewey Decimal System to find where to look, then walk over and open an encyclopedia to look up facts. Now they can do it in 5 seconds. A lot of people have been converted to religion and trad stuff through the internet. It's just a new avenue through proselytizing, so I don't necessarily think what you're saying is true.
Essential, not
to some extent, sure, but plenty of people have been pulled down right-wing rabbit holes and into religion via the internet just as much as people have been pulled away from it.
Just for bone density and bone health, but it's also essential for your immune system. And during the pandemic, people who had low vitamin D were much more susceptible to illness and infection. So it's really...
Ma'am, I live in the Midwest. We also don't get enough vitamin D, especially me, because I don't like to go outside, because outside is full of people and people are scary. Take a supplement. Take a supplement. Literally take a vitamin D supplement. Very common, pretty typical for people in the Midwest.
Really important that we've got,
at minimum in the winter,
adequate vitamin D, and the sun is how we get it. But if we can't get enough sun, and in this country the sunshine levels are not great, even worse with weather modification, then we need to be taking supplements, and ideally take your supplements with K2. So vitamin D3 with K2. There are various companies that do
K2. What is K2? That's not the poison one, is it? Hold on.
do them. Keep a lookout for what's in them as far as additives. You don't want one that's got peanut oil. You want one with olive oil or coconut oil. So I will be.
Okay, maybe that one's fine. I know there's something that's like poison that some people call a vitamin, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
Here afterwards. For those who don't get their questions answered, I will happily take questions after the event is over. I'll be staying to take questions if you have them. So what can we do about this geoengineering?
B17, thank you. I think that's what it is. And it's like a paint thinner or something. It's the thing that comes out of fucking trees. The fuck? What the fuck is it? It comes out of trees and it's a paint thinner or something.
Well, there is a freedom of information, a huge bundle of admissions from the government. A freedom of information request went in about what this agency are doing. The way they've kept it under wraps.
I think it was turpentine. I don't know, though. Other people are saying arsenic, so who knows?
Is using all kinds of
something not good.
Of weird names of agencies and different bodies, and the government has said they're not doing it, but they've given money to independent agencies who are doing it, and they're getting out of it that way. So it's very underhand what's been going on. But there is, in 2022, there was a piece of legislation, the Advanced Research Invention Agency Act was passed by the UK Parliament, and that then awarded all this money. So they're doing things in a very underhand way, but we need to be aware of it.
Does she think that putting money into research to try and mitigate the effects of climate change is somehow indicative that they are doing things right now that she doesn't know about? Like, the two don't connect. Like, there's not A, therefore B. She's just A, so B must be true because I feel it. Like, there's nothing. Ugh. Green Guy says, ADHD question, do gay people save money for Pride Month like Christian families with 7 kids save for Christmas? I've done that before. I didn't this year. I didn't end up going to Pride. 'Cause depression and fear.
And we need to be out there. Freedom of information requests, speaking to your MP, sending letters, getting loud about it, complaining about it, and getting on social media. Now, what we've been seeing is stripes in the sky, and we're told that those stripes in the sky, I can't see any at this particular moment, but we've seen them, we've all seen them, and those
contrails, chemtrails on the bingo card.
Stripes in the sky.
Freyline says B17 comes from apple seeds in the pits of other fruits. It interacts with the body and creates cyanide. There were people who were taking turpentine as a supplement. Gotcha.
They're dumping aluminium powder, they're dumping barium salts, strontium salts, and also manganese salts. But the main ones are aluminium powder, which is affecting trees, it's damaging tree growth and health, and it's also...
Do you have any numbers to back that up, or do you just think that, like, trees have an aura that's off?
Affecting forest fires are burning at a much higher temperature, so that's causing terrible problems.
Ma'am, forest fires all around the world are getting worse because of the effects of climate change. We've been warned about this for a century, and we haven't done anything but make the problem worse.
So what we can do about it, if you are a gardener and you've got rainwater butts, get horsetail herb. Horsetail herb is available, organic horsetail, or you can grow your own, and get that horsetail into a stocking, stick it in your rainwater butts, and the silicon from that horsetail herb will neutralize the aluminium and protect your crops from...
What the fuck is she talking about?
The damaging effects of aluminium. If you've got a fish pond, same thing. You can protect your fish from aluminium by using horsetail. Eat more cucumber. Eat more celery. Those both have aluminium. Those both have silica in, and that will neutralize the effects of the aluminium.
She thinks that silica will mitigate the effects of aluminum. Also, celery is mostly water.
If you are concerned about the barium
In fairness, I'm mostly water too. I'm not knocking it.
salts that are coming in these chemtrails, then if you use magnesium, make sure you've got lots of magnesium in your diet. Dark green leafy vegetables are very high in magnesium. And make sure that you're putting plenty of Epsom salts onto the garden so that the soil is got plenty of magnesium in the soil. Magnesium
Is that gonna be okay for the soil?
reacts with the barium salts,
Epsom salts cause diarrhea. I don't know what that does to plants.
and it actually makes barium sulfate, which is insoluble and inert. And it is then not going to cause any trouble. It will just be a solid material that will just not cause any problems. So we neutralize barium salts with Epsom salts. Great thing to do is have an Epsom salt bath. That's really good for you.
We'll fight the salt with salt.
If you don't have a bathtub at home, you can do an Epsom salt foot bath. I do them regularly. I don't have a bath at home. They're really lovely, great for increasing your magnesium, increasing your health, increasing your feeling of well-being, improving your sleep, and then you can take that water and pour it on the garden, and that magnesium sulfate from the Epsom salts is going to replenish, and it's going to neutralize any barium that's landed on your soil, and it's also going to provide magnesium for your plants. So they're going.
Well, that's good. I'm always worried about my barium levels. Green Guy says, my headcanon is she's doing all this because she wants it to rain more and she's tired of using her hose to water her garden, so a lazy gardener. She should plant more things that need less water and crazy.
To benefit. So another great thing you can do, making sure that you've got adequate.
Baja has expanded the garden, by the way. We not only have tomato, we now have a basil plant named Basil Rathbone. And there's another plant that I'm forgetting the name of and what it is.
B vitamins is very, very important. B vitamins help your brain detoxify any toxic agent.
No, it doesn't. The only thing that detoxifies shit in your body is like your kidneys, or rather your liver.
That happen to get into your brain, and so make sure you're getting your B vitamins. Best source of B vitamins, sorry to the vegans, best source of B vitamins is liver. Get your liver. Make sure you're eating liver. If you don't want to eat it.
Liver doesn't taste very good. It's very irony. I've only had it once. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. Organ meats are not for everyone. Just a Peach with $1 tip says the plants she's talking about can absorb things in the soil. Horsetail grows in toxic or damaged soil. Salts will kill the soil slowly.
You can get organic liver capsules, and good supplement manufacturers provide those, so you can take it that way. But liver is really, really important to make sure you get your B vitamins. One other concern is that the B vitamins, they're adding synthetic B vitamins to flour. They take out the B vitamins that were in the grains and replace them with synthetic ones. So
it sounds like you're saying that they take them out like maliciously. I assume they get taken out probably in the process of like producing the flour, maybe the bleaching process, and then I assume they add it back in for health reasons.
Make sure you...
Kind of like how they add iodine to salt, because a lot of people have iodine deficiencies without it, you know?
You read up about B vitamins. Cyanocobalamin is a synthetic B12. Not great for everybody. Some people are okay with it, not everyone. And then folic acid is a synthetic B9. Not everyone can deal with that. So make sure you're getting the methyl version. Methyl folate is a better option, because about 40% of us cannot methylate or process the synthetic folic acid. It's not a vitamin, it is a synthetic excuse for a vitamin. So be careful, because we're being fed this stuff. So there's lots we can do. Get your Epsom salt baths, get your Epsom salt foot baths, get your horsetail in your water butts. The other thing that's good in rainwater butts.
What's with her Bugatti patch? I don't know. Maybe she's showing solidarity with Andrew Tate. Who knows? No, I noticed it too. It's a weird shirt. I don't know. I don't know why Bugatti.
Is to have barley grass in a stocking in there, and it keeps the water fresh, and protects it from going stale and mucky with green stuff and algae and whatever. So all these things are important to protect ourselves. But geoengineering is really happening. Now, you may notice I have a vintage car mark on the front.
Oh, okay, she's going to explain it. That's good.
Front of my shirt. My late father restored vintage racing cars, and I got very knowledgeable about internal combustion engines of the 1920s and 1930s.
Oh boy, what stupid bullshit is she about to say? Is she going to be like, actually, engines from the early 20th century were better for the environment?
They are totally different to modern jet engines. And we are told...
Modern jet engines? What?
That
yes, a jet engine is different than a car engine. Yes? They're different kinds of engines. Does she think that her knowledge of early 20th century automotive engines somehow transfers to modern jet engines? What? What are you talking about? Those are two completely different topics. Fitting Kagami says, personally, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the files thing. We all need to be reminded that we're not immune to conspiracy thought just because we watch your show. I mean, heck, I've argued with you through these and I'm still here, but I also understand if you want to avoid a fight. Lord knows I've been getting sick of arguing with my brother. I'll just say this. I wouldn't be surprised either way. I have to, due to lack of information, and the information that I get about it coming through intermediary sources, my response to the Epstein thing is, I don't know. And the sad thing is, I'll never know, so I'm better off just not thinking about it. That's my answer. I know that's not satisfying, but that's the reality, is you have to live with the ambiguity, and people don't like that, and that's why people come up with conspiracy theories. But in the absence of direct evidence, all I can say is, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if there was a list somewhere of his clients, but it also wouldn't surprise me if there isn't. Because why would you keep a centralized list of all the people that are implicated in your horrifying crimes? Maybe he killed himself, maybe he didn't. I'll never know. And that's just something you gotta live with, being comfortable not knowing, lest you fall into some sort of conspiracy either way. That's how I feel about it. I don't know. I'll never know. That sucks. That's gonna bother me. It is what it is.
The stripes in the sky are exhaust or condensation trails from aircraft. That is absolute nonsense. Modern jet aircraft operate at 2,300 degrees. There is no soot in that. There is no uncombusted jet engine fuel. There is no products of combustion.
Wait,
and
what?
Okay,
I gotta go back and listen to that section again. But first, Green Guy says, can I be moved to the timeline where the belief in what science and podcasters say can be switched back, please? Take me with you.
Stripes in the sky are exhaust or condensation trails from aircraft. That is absolute nonsense. Modern jet aircraft operate at 2,300 degrees. There is no soot in that. There is no uncombusted jet engine fuel. There is no...
Ma'am, no one is saying that it's exhaust from the plane. It's contrails, it's condensation. It's not exhaust. She thinks that when people explain contrails to her, they're saying it's exhaust? No, it's not. That's not what anyone is saying.
Products of combustion. And to tell us that the stripes in the sky are condensation trails is ridiculous. The condensation trail from a modern jet aircraft will be very short, and it'll be ice crystals, and it will melt extremely quickly.
Condensation isn't ice, it's water vapor. It's water vapor. What the fuck?
Modern jet aircraft do not leave condensation trails.
Except they do. You see them all the time.
It is a nonsense, and we're being conned with that information. Now, to finish, what can you do about this? There is a Telegram group, Geoengineering Action, which has been set up by
I hate that the stupidest people are the loudest. I'm very over it.
myself and John from Stand Together, who's around somewhere. I can't see where he is. Put your hand up, John, from Stand Together. Where is he? Over there. Right, there's John from Stand Together. So there is a geoengineering action group. You can join that and get involved. And we'd really appreciate it. But there's lots more we can do, but I hope that's given you a taste of some of the things you can do to protect yourself.
Imagine if everyone who's in conspiracy stuff like this that has a penchant for organizing stopped being crazy and used those organizational skills for, like, labor unions or political action towards things that would actually be beneficial to people as a whole. Wouldn't that be nice? I think that would be nice. Anyway.
A picture, a photo, an image is worth more than 1,000 words and more than 1,000 books. I don't think I have to explain anything. The picture is self-explanatory, and the text you have on the top. Well, do I have to say anything? So,
clones on the bingo card. In fairness, he probably says actor, but I'll count this for clones. We haven't had a lot of bingo spaces yet today.
You don't have to be a genius to understand how America was saved, and even Q said, the military intelligence of Q and President Trump, they always repeated, enjoy the movie, enjoy the show.
We're all watching a movie on the bingo card. Green guy says jet fuel is 62.5% water. Bet the water evaporating and expanding helps with the thrust. I have no idea. I don't know physics or engineering.
You now understand what
I know jokes and silly outfits.
happened between 2021 and 2025, the 4 years of the Joe Biden presidency. Gosh, if I would just have the time to explain that. The thing is, if I go into this, I would probably have to spend like 6 months or like maybe even a year, because the information is so vast. There's so much information in text.
It's all very legitimate, and it's all in the form of memes like this.
Text and pictures and posts and everything. It's just you have to separate the truth from the lies and dig deeper, and you have all the photos and the pictures and the documents and the facts. And of course, it's been 4 years, right? So 5 years almost. So you have plenty of information, but you don't have to be a genius to understand. Even President Trump, I mean, he said it so many times. That was not Biden. He said it so many times. And let's be honest, like, I didn't even know, because I had to search for the pictures of Joe Biden. And when I saw the real Joe Biden as he was, when he was real, when he was himself, I said, gosh, who is this guy, right? When I saw the Biden of who presents.
Sir, many politicians and old people in general, especially if they have money, will get work done when they're older, but especially politicians, because their image is a lot of what they do. So the image on the left is before he had some work done. He had more loose skin. You know, stuff that happens to most people as they get older. Your skin gets less, what's the word I'm thinking of, where it springs back? It loses some elasticity, so it gets looser. He apparently had some work done to take off some extra skin. He did some other stuff too. He's not a clone. He's just an old guy.
And himself as the president, I was like, it's a totally different person, right? Even with the mask. Of course, in some of the occasions, and probably for many of you, this is probably too much to bear. In some occasions, just some of them, it was Jim Carrey, with lots of makeup and lots of with the mask and stuff, because Jim Carrey had a contract, but that's a different story. So anyway, I just say,
when was Jim Carrey contracted to fake play the president?
at least some of the occasions, okay? That's it. Not much to say. Again, everything is public. President Trump has repeated this all the time. The Q military intelligence has posted a lot of the stuff online, with what's meant for the public, and I'm just happy that I understood. Thanks to other people who are like way more intelligent than I am, but they managed so that they published and they put everything online in public for people like you and me to be able to understand. And
Jim Carrey played Biden on SNL at some point. He may have. That sounds like a thing they would have done.
to research and to find stuff if you want
Jim Carrey as Andy Kaufman as Joe Biden.
to find.
Oh my god, that documentary about the making of Man on the Moon makes Jim Carrey out to be such a crazy asshole.
So yeah, America was saved. Let's be honest. And with America, the entire Western democracy. It's now the European Union's turn. Let's see how things are going to go in Europe. But yeah, I do love this. I like it way better than the 10 years of tyranny that were planned from 2020 to 2030 with COVID. So anyway, see you in the next video.
So fucking delusional. Let's take a look at the bingo card real quick. Oh, we haven't had a ton. We're all watching a movie. Reincarnation. Sheesh, what else? I don't even know. Certain Clintons, Bidens, Obamas for that one. Certainly chemtrails, wherever that is. Here it is. Chemical fear-mongering. Weather control. Yeah, which one is that? Weather control. It's on here somewhere. Someone give me the number for weather control. Yeah, clones. There it is. Weather control 26. Thank you, sweet Lily. Love. Appreciate it. Anything else? Is there anything else? By the way, this is random. Saw that movie In a Violent Nature. It's pretty good. One sec. 51. The guy said he has so much information. Okay. My research said by a non-researcher. And 82. Wait, who was recording in a car? Oh, the meth lady. The meth lady did record in her car. Fair enough. Mentions DVDs for Legend. I didn't actually mention the Blu-ray. I said I was watching it. I didn't say how, but I'll give it to you. Let's be honest. I'm not going to go this stream without mentioning Blu-rays. Anyway, so I saw In a Violent Nature, which if you don't know the premise is it's basically a Friday the 13th movie, but from the perspective of a character that's supposed to be like Jason. It's interesting. The end is a little messy, but I enjoyed it overall. Okay. Here's what I call the lightning round. We're about halfway through the stream, not quite yet. I'm not really into TikTok, but we're gonna do some TikTok conspiracies. Lightning round, let's go.
There's a conspiracy theory that claims that we're already dead, and the evidence
Oh.
comes from science. There are two things that are documented to happen when someone clinically dies. The first is that your entire life will flash before your eyes, and the second is that your brain keeps working 7 minutes after your body is gone. And we've literally recorded the brain still firing after death, actively creating memories. So for 7 minutes, we're in this like dreamlike state where we're reliving
No.
our entire life. And according to this guy you may have heard of, Albert Einstein.
Oh, fuck off! Fuck off with the fucking Einstein shit! And that man, Albert Einstein. We did it.
Time is relative. But what does that actually mean? This is suggesting that 7 minutes in the real world could feel like 100 years in the dream state.
That is not what Einstein meant when he was talking about temporal relativity. He was talking about objects as they approach the speed of light and the relative time frame differences between an observer outside of that reference point and those within it. They aren't talking about your woo-woo horse shit.
State. Kind of like when you fall asleep, you dream an entire movie, then wake up 5 minutes later. Now here's where it gets weird. Some people believe that we all died in 2012. That's
Those people need help.
when the Mayan calendar predicted the end of the world. And remember, this is all just for fun, and this is just a conspiracy theory. This theory suggests that instead of an apocalypse, we collectively slipped into this 7-minute brain echo. And this right here, right now, is our dream.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would if I was dead and dreaming this, why would my brain give me this TikTok of this annoying woman telling me? It doesn't make any sense. Green Guy says I made salsa from tomatoes from the garden and pepper and basil and other store things, and it tastes good. It's nice to get stuff from your own garden.
Is us reliving our memories. And little time glitches, little weird things like the Mandela effects, or like deja vu, or feeling like the
People talked, am I this old? People were talking about the Mandela effect before 2012. The implication that, oh, these are because everyone's dead would imply no one talked about the Mandela effect before 2012. They did. They were crazy assholes then, too.
world is off. Those are just cracks in the memory trying to keep itself stitched together. So this theory is saying that that would mean that the world did end and we just haven't accepted it yet. Do you think we're 7 minutes into the afterlife? You can come over here for longer freaky videos.
Fuck you.
There is a very
The real truth, you better wake up and find out, has been around you all of your life. You just didn't see it. Example, Abraham Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. John Kennedy was elected to Congress 1946. Abe Lincoln was elected president in 1860. John Kennedy was elected president 1960. The names Lincoln and Kennedy both contain 7 letters. Both presidents were particularly concerned with civil rights. Both
I love the I don't know who's heard this before. I think most people have. I'm gonna skip this one because it's barely a conspiracy theory, but it's like a list of things that people try and compare between John F. Kennedy and Abraham Lincoln, and as the list goes on, the connections become more and more spurious and open to interpretation as to how you discuss it. Like, they were both interested in civil rights. He's describing Lincoln being a part of the Civil War as being interested in civil rights compared to JFK, who was interested in civil rights for Black Americans. But, like, do you see how these two things are, like, not a direct thing? Like, I don't know how to explain. And the longer this goes on, it gets more and more spurious, the comparisons. So we'll skip.
Man, this is the craziest part in the Terminator series, because basically he explains to her that the man most responsible for the robots taking over is this guy that creates a microprocessor chip.
Yeah, Miles something. Miles Dyson? Question mark?
And sells it to the military. And what the military does with this microprocessor chip is they put it in military aircraft and they use AI with these aircraft so that the aircraft don't have to have people in them. And what
not just aircraft, everything. The Skynet get put in charge of the whole, like, American military everything. That's how Judgment Day happens.
happens is the aircraft get so good that they have a perfect operational record, and they eventually pass a bill that no human decisions are basically needed in the line of defense. And what happens after a while is the AI starts to become self-aware. And once it starts to become self-aware, they try to basically shut the whole thing down, and basically it fights back. See, they try to pull the plug and it fights back. And this is basically the prequel to The Matrix. What do you got?
That's not even a conspiracy! It's just not! What the fuck? It's not! The Matrix has its... Where the fuck is the Animatrix? Hold on! Where's my copy of the Animatrix? Ah! Okay. So, no, the Matrix is not a sequel to the fucking Terminator, even in a fan theory way. I have the first four, well, I have the 4 live-action Matrix films on 4K, but I kept this Blu-ray because it has the Animatrix, which has never been released on 4K, which is a travesty. The Animatrix is probably the best Matrix movie. If you've not seen the Animatrix includes, it's an anthology movie that has different stories from within the Matrix universe, and it has the backstory of the Matrix universe, and it's so much more interesting than this. I love the Terminator movies, but the backstory to the Matrix is incredible, and if you haven't seen the Animatrix, please do. It's very good. I don't normally recommend anime, but watch the Animatrix. The only segment I don't really like is the CG one, where they're, like, doing a samurai battle. I don't care for that. Penikagami says, ma'am, this isn't Final Fantasy X. We don't live in Zanerkin, and you are not Titus. Your father isn't Sin. You're not traveling with the summoner. Stop it. Get some help.
Yo, the glitter conspiracy is a rabbit hole you are not ready for. So I didn't know this, but there's legit only like 2 main manufacturers of glitter.
Oh, I've already seen this. It's Defense Department stuff.
Have you guys seen the Doomsday map? They came out with a map that looks like...
They came out with a map. Who's they? Who came out with a map?
Like this.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
This is America. They do like the whole world, but this shot is of America. But this lady, her name is Peggy.
Oh, wow, it's like a map of America, but like some of it's underwater, man. This seems legitimate. I bet this is real.
Bolton. She did some really fun research regarding the Doomsday map. She compared what this map looked like. She compared that to the land that Bill Gates has been buying.
Eat my entire asshole.
All the farmland. He is the majority farmland owner in the United States right now. She took the map of the farmland that he owns and overlaid it onto this Doomsday map. Every single dry land piece was occupied by his farmland, including California. So
I would imagine that it has something to do with elevation. It's a correlative thing, not a causative thing. I would imagine this map is deciding basically if the sea levels rose X amount, this is what would get covered, and I assume that whatever area Bill Gates owns in terms of farmland is suitable as farmland because of that elevation or whatever.
California is basically completely underwater, but there's these little pockets of islands. You see those? That little one right
Correlation isn't causation on the bingo card. Indeed.
there, that's one of his farmlands.
Yep. I should have never slept on this movie. The Conspiracy is a movie that I've seen on streaming services for years now, and for
I think I saw this once.
some strange reason,
I don't think I liked it.
kept ignoring it.
I'm gonna move past
I'm
that.
a retired FBI agent, and this is a conspiracy theory that... I'm a retired FBI agent, and this is a conspiracy theory that keeps me up at night.
He has to be a former FBI agent. You think people just go on the internet and lie about being former FBI agents? This is why I don't do TikTok. It's full of shit for idiots. Like, it's just people saying stuff with no sourcing. It's like a machine built for dumbasses to say lies. It's crazy.
In 2018, a treasure hunter tipped off the FBI to a large cache of buried, stolen Civil War gold in a rural part of Elk County, Pennsylvania. Now, the story goes, this treasure hunter had been looking into this since around 2011, probably further back than that. But his research showed that during the Civil War...
Matrix on the bingo card for the last guy? No, because he wasn't saying that's real life. He's just saying it was a prequel to The Matrix, which it isn't.
a secret society known as the Knights of the Golden Circle, a group that operated in the north to sabotage the northern efforts, one of them being to steal this gold that was on its way to the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia.
Green Guy says, just imagine these people listen to science and feel the same way we feel right now as we watch them. Crazy. I don't think they do watch science anything. Orion Cooper with $2 says, can confirm, I argue with flat earthers on TikTok. Oh, that's not worth it. Dr. Worm with 100 bits says, hi Hannah, if you're ever looking for a tinfoil documentary recommendation, check out Extraordinary, the Stan Romanek story, free on YouTube. The guy was a con artist and sex offender and tries to say they came after him to discredit his stories of alien abduction. Ooh, I'll have to check that out. Huh.
And then hide it. Why they never went back for it, I don't know. This treasure hunter had been operating or doing his research and looking for this stuff, and he located a site that was on public land in Pennsylvania. And he was operating under the permission of the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. It's somewhere along the way, this treasure hunter and the DCNR had a falling out, and he follows this up and goes to the FBI. He told them, or however he convinced them, they took it seriously enough to hire an outside agency to go in and do some very high-tech survey of the property to see if there's any validity to this. And sure enough, this high-tech equipment revealed that there was a large mass of some kind at this site underground. And then the FBI, also using pretty high-tech equipment, determined that there was the presence of gold. They end up getting a seizure warrant through a federal judge. They get a writ of entry that gives them access to the land. They do a 3-day search for this using an excavator.
Benigami says, hey Hannah, if you want to hear something interesting that other countries are trying to do to adapt to climate change, there's a push for a project in Australia to create a man-made lake in the middle of the Badlands by creating a river that draws in water from the ocean. That'd be interesting. I don't know how feasible that is, but I don't know.
And all kinds of...
Where's the conspiracy theory? That's what I'm thinking.
Techniques, to try to locate this stuff. Very well documented, I have to say.
That's not a conspiracy! I swear to God, TikTok just thinks a conspiracy is any weird story.
So that conspiracy theory, where people are trafficking human organs, has now gotten a little deeper. So this 21-year-old former flight attendant was arrested for trafficking $3.3 million worth of a psychoactive drug containing ground human bones. Ground human bones. Let me repeat. This former 21-year-old flight attendant was arrested for trafficking $3.3 million worth of a drug containing ground human remains. She was arrested at the airport with this...
I think normally people just cut that stuff with baby powder, but whatever.
Drug called Kush. Over 100 pounds of this drug that's...
Is Kush not just weed?
Only found on the black market. Take a look at this. This is the article about the stuff that she was caught with and was arrested for. Now, it's totally unclear of who is purchasing this stuff. I guess maybe it's people that are tired of the stuff that they've been using, and they want something a little bit different. But this contains human bones. Now, if you go back and check out some of my videos and all the stories that have been coming out of people arrested.
Let me look this up in another tab real quick. I gotta see where he's getting the source on this. Kush. Human bone drug. Let's see. What is this dangerous new West African drug that supposedly contains human bones? A new drug called Kush is wreaking havoc in West Africa, particularly in Sierra Leone, where it's estimated to kill around a dozen people each week and hospitalize thousands. The drug, taken mostly by men aged 18 to 25, causes people to fall asleep while walking, fall over, to bang their heads against hard surfaces, and walk into moving traffic. Kush should not be confused with the drug of the same name found in the US, which is a mixture of an ever-changing host of chemicals sprayed on plant matter and smoked. Kush in Sierra Leone is quite different. It's a mixture of cannabis, fentanyl, tramadol, formaldehyde, and according to some, ground down human bone. Oh, okay, so it's just like a myth that it contains human bone. As for ground human bones, there's no definitive answer about whether or not they occur in the drug, where such bones would come from, or why they might be incorporated into the drug. Okay, so it's like an urban legend thing that it contains human bones, and it's just a drug that's fucked up. So yeah, not good to do, but it doesn't contain human bone. That's good.
You know the Mars theory? That there's aliens on Mars? Nah, there's a theory that Mars
What?
was the original planet that humans were from.
Okay.
Then something happened that we all had to fly to another planet and live on. There used to be like...
This is just Probe 7 over and out. The Twilight Zone did this like 70 years ago as a premise. There's multiple Twilight Zone episodes, I think, actually, that have a similar premise to this, and the twist is, oh, they're going to Earth. This isn't even creative. Also, Mars doesn't have plate tectonics. So no.
civilization that lived on Mars. Now back this. On Mars, there's an element on the periodic table called xenon. Xenon on Earth is only found, this is crazy, is only found after a nuclear explosion. No.
I don't think that's true because you can make it in a lab, right? Like xenon is an element. Hold on. Let me see. It's a fucking noble gas. Bittergrin says, we aren't from here, then why are the fossils of our entire evolution here? Shh, don't worry about it. Xenon gas. Let's see. I was right about it being a noble gas. Look at me. Xenon is a chemical element that has the symbol Xe, atomic number 54, dense, colorless, odorless, noble gas found in Earth's atmosphere in trace amounts. So he's just lying. It is found in Earth's atmosphere in trace amounts. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm seeing how they produce it, if I can find it anywhere. Yeah, they typically extract it from the atmosphere. So there you go.
That's not even...
It is occurring on Earth.
This is the wrong button.
I said no. What the hell?
And it goes...
To make Xenon, you need remains of a girl of the 21st century. I loved those Xenon movies as a kid. The third one's dog shit, but I still love those first two.
Goes hand in hand.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Make your heart go boom, boom, my supernova girl. Anyone remember Xenon? No? Okay.
Now, what if on Mars there was a nuclear warfare, destroyed the whole planet, but people were able to escape?
What if, like, we weren't even people and we were all just turtles that got drugged and we're just, like, imagining being people, man? Shut up. Shut your mouth. Shut your fucking mouth.
Just in time?
I'm so tired of these vacuous... Yeah!
landed on Earth and they had to restart from nothing.
So we are the...
What if, like, we're like hot dogs at the supermarket and we just think we're people because we can't cope with being hot dogs?
aliens.
We're the aliens.
What the hell? Yeah.
It's real shit. Like, this element's called xenon. It's prominent after nuclear explosion. You know the Mars theory?
Fucking hate people.
There is no Epstein.
So the Jeffrey Epstein.
Peace, fam. Y'all know me. I feel like everything's connected somehow. So yesterday, I saw something, and it sparked something connected to Dragon Ball Z.
Oh no, I didn't mean to do that.
Peace, fam. Y'all know me. I feel like everything's connected somehow. So yesterday, I saw something, and it sparked something connected to Dragon Ball Z. The first thing I saw was this. The ice wall that we've all heard about. Then I saw this. I ain't think nothing about it. It's like, oh, it's a city.
Sir, this is an AI image. Does he not know that's an AI image? Oh god, please tell me he knows that's an AI image. Please.
On the other side of the ice.
He's gonna say it looks like the buildings in Dragon Ball Z, like fucking Capsule Corp and shit.
Ice wall.
I mean, I don't know anime things. What is he gonna say? I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay. And then I looked and I said, man, hold on a second. I've seen that before. This is Namek. These are their houses on Namek. I'm looking and I'm like... And then I'm like...
Domes? No one would ever think to make a dome-shaped building.
Like... Cause I'm saying, like... I mean, the resemblance is kind...
You're a stupid asshole. I'm sorry. I know. It pisses me off. This is why I don't do TikTok conspiracies. Because at least YouTube conspiracies, they make points. On TikTok, it's just dipshits that like this, that are like, You're not even saying anything. Say something. You're a human being. Use words to make a point. I hate you. I hate you. What, did you get fucking lobotomized? Say words. I'll just fucking point at shit and ask questions. Go fuck yourself.
Kinda eerie, if you think about it. Cause why does their city just so happen to look like a city that somebody took a picture of?
Because it's a fucking AI image that probably is literally stealing the idea from Dragon Ball. But on top of that, you can build a dome-shaped building. Domes are quite strong shapes.
Be on the ice wall. How does that make any sense? Where did that come from?
Am I good? No, I'm disgusted with the species I'm a part of.
I mean, I could be on to nothing, but I didn't take this picture. There is an ice wall there. I didn't put the city there.
No one took that picture. It's AI, you stupid asshole. You stupid waste of space.
Yeah, that city could be made out of a blocky thing. It could be pyramids. It could be anything. But no, the city looks like it's a bunch of R2-D2s from Star Wars. And then on Namek, they happen to have the same exact design and city? And you know how I am. I don't think they're very creative. You know, I don't think they're creative. And we all know there's nothing new under the sun.
You're a fucking dipshit.
Guys, they're throwing the deportees out of the planes and into...
Have you heard about the Kennedy-Lincoln coincidence?
In 1582,
AI.
there are people living inside of the Earth. It's true. New information
You had a guy doing a thumbs up. It's gotta be true.
from NASA states that there is a large ocean beneath the Earth's crust, after scientists detected movement below the surface. Around 500 miles below, a large supply of water has been found stored in a rock named ringwoodite. But it gets even crazier. Scientists say that this rock is so huge
Scientists say
that it contains 3 times the amount of water on the Earth's surface. This causes many to believe that there is more down there than we originally thought, possibly even civilizations. While the news of this discovery was over 10 years ago...
I feel so bad for children that have been raised with this as their primary source of entertainment. Like, I'm not judging them at all. They were fucked from the start. Like, we're just giving them this, and you're expecting them to grow up to be, like reasonable people? We're fucked! We're fucked! Stone Corbell says, this is the new AI voice I heard reading an advertisement on broadcast TV this week. It was so jarring. Gross.
It was never talked about. Is the government hiding this information from us? What do you think?
Like, it's literal brain rot. It's just nonsense. It's just slop for the sake of it. It's so bad.
The scariest conspiracy theories.
So what happened to the Epstein?
Do you know what the CIA's very first mission?
Oh my god, I don't usually cover Ian Carroll, but was a meme stock guy, and he's really into conspiracies. Green Guy says, Hannah, there are a lot of dogs and cats, but then there is your dogs and cats. They're awesome. Everyone else's pet is an asshole, like them. No, because this doesn't work the same. The judgments I lay against other people, I lay against myself, lest I be narcissistic. So when I go, that person's an idiot, I basically am telling myself I'm an idiot, and I feel the weight as if I am said the stupid thing that they have said. And it slowly erodes my soul, feeling the disdain I have for other human beings for not using their intellectual agency, and it only erodes my view of myself. Anyway.
Ever in its history was? On December 14th, 1947, the National Security Council issued its first top-secret orders to the CIA.
That can't be healthy? It's not.
The CIA
It's not even a little bit.
set out to beat the Reds in the Italian word TikTok doesn't allow, set for April 1948. And yes, let's just all admire the irony of how in a democracy in America, we can't use that word in our media or else we'll get censored.
Wait,
That's
what's
great.
the word? I missed it.
The irony of how in a democracy in America,
I don't see what words he's talking about. What word is he saying he's not allowed to say?
we can't use that
PSYOP? He thinks he can't say PSYOP. PSYOP on the bingo card.
word in our media or else we'll get censored. That's great. But back then, the CIA didn't really have an official budget and they didn't have a bunch of money. They just had a bunch of friends. So James Forrestal and
Elections?
his good friend Alan Dulles solicited their friends and colleagues from Wall Street and Washington, business people, bankers, and politicians. But it was never enough. So the CIA's first mission ever
Yeah,
was
doesn't understand capitalism is their problem on the bingo card.
to overthrow a government and fix a word I can't say. And to do it, they used money that came from all of their business people, friends, bankers, etc. But they needed more money too. So he convinced Snyder to tap into the Exchange Stabilization Fund set up in the Depression to shore up the value of the dollar. Because who needs to do that anyways? The fund held $200 million that was earmarked for the reconstruction of Europe. And they funneled it into the bank accounts of a bunch of wealthy American citizens, a lot of them Italian.
Who's the source on this? Tim Weiner? Let me look up this Tim Weiner guy. Give me a sec. Tim Weiner. Okay, he's an actual writer. He has Pulitzer Prizes.
Italian Americans. One can only imagine what other organizations all these Italian Americans might have been a part of.
Oh, somehow a hype train started. That seems random. 3% to level 1 on the hype train.
They even told the donors to place a special code on their income tax forms alongside their charitable donation.
Green Guy with a tip says, on the 4th of July, people from work were sharing memes. Then someone posted AI slop and I called them out on it and everyone stopped. I just said AI slop. That's funny.
So their CIA donations to help control a government over there was tax deductible. Quote, passing black bags to effect a political injection is not really a terribly attractive thing. No shit, but it worked. Italy's Christian Democrats won by a comfortable margin and formed a government that excluded communists. Good job, CIA. But don't worry, they just did it that one time. They would never do that in modern times. Except for when they did it in Japan, and Guatemala, and Iran, and Indonesia, and Vietnam, and Laos, and Nicaragua, and Panama, and Chile.
Yeah, that's just about, I don't like Ian Carroll, but that's just about how the CIA fucking sucks, and yeah.
Well, before we begin, let me just point...
Alright, I'm probably done with the TikTok stuff for the day. It's just pissing me off, so let's go back to YouTube. TikTok is truly just the fucking cesspool of the internet, and I don't know how anyone spends time there recreationally. The entire format is just, like, disgusting. Anyway.
I've been beating this drum for several years now. Lots of other channels have been beating this drum for a long time. Artificial intelligence, AI, is simply a conduit to allow other dimensional fallen angel entities to interact with us.
Oh. Okay, that's a claim. So demons. Demons are AI.
The 5G system will allow these entities to actually apply consequences or punish us when we don't heed their warnings. Do you understand what I'm saying? It appears that others are coming around and starting to figure this out. Unlike others, I don't mind people thinking that I'm crazy, because every day that goes by, things that I've talked about in the past end up becoming news. Do you see what I'm saying?
So, I love my subscribers, I really do. But man, I don't know how many times I have warned that messing with ChatGPT or any AI applications is literally interacting with fallen entities in real time. But apparently
5G on the bingo card.
some people just don't think that's an...
I'm already seeing why the sky must be terraformed for the dragon, and that's pretty great. Minute on the hype train. Also, Amber asks for a sub if anyone wants to help Amber out.
issue in any way whatsoever at all, so then they send me things like this. The sky, the atmosphere, and frequency spectrum are being prepped, not just for surveillance and for control, but for supernatural arrival that few understand and few are ready for. Why the sky must be terraformed for the dragon. The dragon is not just a creature, it's a multi-dimensional being, Satan himself, who requires specific atmospheric and electromagnetic conditions to manifest more fully into the physical realm. He's already here spiritually, but in order to appear visibly, tactically, and
Is this Ape Father? No, it's not. He does have a similar accent, but no, it's not him. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs and saving the hype train. Got us over level 1.
supernaturally, the sky must be altered to accommodate his full emergence. And then it goes on to explain this, apparently in great detail. Sky canopy manipulation, cloud seeding, chemtrails, and aerosol grids, reflective particulates sprayed into the upper atmosphere, alters visibility, heat signature, and potentially interdimensional veil thickness, maybe masking signs in heaven. Now, if you recall, I've said this numerous times in live streams well over 10 years ago. Myself, Anthony Patch, and Nicholson 1968 all did a live stream where we said they're terraforming the earth for Satan.
Satan has a particular atmospheric composition that he requires? That doesn't seem very powerful of him. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting Amber that sub. 80% to level 2 on the hype train.
As you can see, as when I try to pull this up from 2017, Richie from Boston, terraforming. Let's see what happens. Too many requests, which I don't even know what that means.
Seems like that means that there's too many requests pinging that particular server or something, so it's not doing it? I don't know computer things, but something about too many requests, it said it.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. Today's the 12th of October. It's 2018, and you are looking at what you're looking at quite often on this YouTube channel. I have, since the day I started this channel, pretty much been covering chemtrailing and what it is they're doing in the skies above us. And it seems like not a lot of people give it a lot of thought, because what are you going to do about it? It's just contrails, it's just ice particles, it's just this, it's just that. They're hiding Nibiru, they're hiding the Dark Star, they're
Nibiru, is that even on the bingo card anymore? Nibiru, if we have it, I don't think we do.
hiding Nemesis. They're hiding. Do you know what I really think they've been doing? And Anthony Patch used to be on a radio show or a weekly program with me back in the day. Many of you probably don't know that, but the videos are still up in the playlists. But we posed the question that they could, in fact, be terraforming the planet. Now, what does terraforming mean? It means to alter the environment of a celestial body, quote unquote, in order to make capable of supporting terrestrial life forms. Well, Richie, that's just absolutely ridiculous. That's clearly not what they're doing.
We are terrestrial life forms.
Or is it? Because if any of you follow science like I do and have been for
He follows science real good.
a long,
He thinks AI is demons. He follows science so well.
long time, you may have noticed that this is a meme they've been bandying about for quite a while. For instance, popular science. Mars is missing a lot of crucial terraforming ingredient, but according to NASA, according to the powers that be, according to the scientists of the world,
I'm sorry, when he says he follows science, he means he reads popular science. Don't get me wrong, I like popular science. It can be fun to read, but they put in a lot of, how do I put this? It becomes especially evident when you read, like, old issues of popular science. They put in a lot of speculation and conjecture and very hopeful ideas that are in very early stages because it's a pop science magazine, right? It's not a journal. So especially if you go back to, like, old issues of popular science, they'll have a ton of stuff that you can laugh at because, you know, they're saying all sorts of predictions that are total bullshit. It's an enjoyable read, but it's not a journal, right? I wouldn't say, if I read popular science, I wouldn't say I follow science, right? I just read the magazine Popular Science. 40 seconds on the hype train.
they could simply go up to Mars and terraform the entire place to make it habitable for humanity.
And
Green Guy says, we're terraforming the world for Satan might work for the climate change deniers to switch sides. I am thinking, man, it seems like people need to figure out a way to manipulate conspiracy theorists better, because they're doing a bad job right now, and the conspiracy theorists are just making up a bunch of bullshit. So if someone could harness the power of manipulation to help these people be productive members of society, that would be great. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub, saving the hype train, and getting us over level 2, 7% to level 3 on the hype train.
according to ChatGPT, the Earth ionosphere interface is being tuned. This could help thin or distort spiritual barriers, acting like an artificial stargate or veil manipulator. And it could also block celestial warnings or simulate alien dragon arrival events. Now, do you recall back in the days when I put out a video saying, are they trying to block our ability to pray to God by putting a layer of heavy metal in the atmosphere?
I'm gonna be honest, if a layer of heavy metal can stop your prayers, I think you're fucked. Like, you think your God is all-powerful, but also a layer of aluminum is gonna keep your prayers from getting through? What a strange view of God.
Well, seems like I might have been onto something back then, but who knows. Blue beam technology, or variants. We'll just call it blue beam because it's easier, but
Project Bluebeam on the bingo card.
Project Bluebeam is as old as I am, so I know they've got a better one. But they could fake a second coming, they could fake an alien invasion, dragon.
I like that he brings up the fact that the Project Bluebeam conspiracy has been around longer than he has, but at no point does he go, oh, maybe it's bullshit. Because if you don't know, Project Bluebeam is a conspiracy that the government has technology to create a fake alien invasion to justify the formation of a one-world government. And yeah, the conspiracy is decades and decades old. Probably at least as old as, like, the 1950s or 60s, at minimum the 70s. So it's at least 50 years old. Aren't they a little bit like, wow, they've been really sitting on this plan for 50 years? You know what I mean? Like, at a certain point, doesn't it become kind of like a Jesus you know, coming back to Earth moment where you go like, wow, we've been waiting for this thing a long time. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know.
An apparition or use holographic illusions.
To the human eye, there appears to be a glowing, three-dimensional butterfly moving around inside this black box. In fact, all it is a tiny polystyrene bead.
That's really small.
Yes, it's like a 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter bead. It's suspended, and we can move it so fast to create a 3D shape.
This is a volumetric display. It's an image that exists in real 3D space. And this latest development in the field is unique in that it uses sound waves not only to create the image.
If your life depended on one shot, would you trust your zero?
Grab your ARs. Speaking of ads from Rumble and BitChute, I actually don't work tomorrow. I thought I did, but I don't. So the stream where we're gonna go over weird ads from BitChute and Rumble is going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna do that stream.
Also to add audio and tactile sensations.
Ooh, yeah. You can feel it's like a really, like a kind of gentle buzz or breeze.
In that it uses sound waves not only to create the image, but also to add audio and tactile sensations.
This could support the image of the beast, which is in Revelations 13 through 15, or mimic heavenly signs, and it might be the visual cloak behind the real dragon steps forward. Terraforming frequencies. The air is the domain of the prince of the power of the air. Ephesians 2.2.
If ChatGPT could make their app not sycophantically give conspiracy theories to crazy people on command, that would be great. Minute left on the hype train.
Also, so the dragon doesn't need oceans or forests, he needs electromagnetic dominance, being a spiritual being. And that would explain a lot of things, like when they just held their recent CO2 or climate change summit, they needed to cut 8 miles worth of the God-given Amazon rainforest down, which is an absolute oxymoron. You're trying to save the planet by clearing out 8 miles worth? I mean, that's a big swath of land right there. We need the rainforest. And it also explains why these guys are completely against what photosynthesis actually is. If CO2 was really a problem, you simply plant more trees. But according to the experts,
okay, but we're outputting CO2 at levels that it's not feasible to plant enough trees to combat that. That's the point. I don't know if you know this. You're not the first person to realize that trees utilize CO2. It's the fact that we are outputting so much at an industrial level and have been for so long that there's no amount of trees that you can reasonably plant that would reverse this.
that's not what you do at all. You make mechanical trees.
Plant trees. There's a lot of people who are very enamored with trees. We've got trees on this stage. Some people would even say that if you just planted enough trees, it could take care of the climate issue altogether.
And that's complete nonsense.
Okay.
I mean, are we the science people or are we the idiots? Which one do we want to be?
Meet the mechanical tree, a machine that can do the work of 1,000 living trees. Could this tower of leaves help pull us back from the brink of the climate crisis?
Yeah, I'm fully of the opinion that, like, working towards carbon capture is a cope. That's my vibe on the whole thing. It feels like a thing some capitalists throw money at so they can feel better about destroying the environment permanently and potentially making the human race go extinct. That's my vibe, though. Green guy with the $3 tip says, holy shit, Hannah, a guy at work is sick like me was not going to his appointments for 6 months. Free healthcare, has blood pressure, or rather has blood issues making him sick, not going. Stupid. Yeah, that's not ideal.
The mechanical tree can do the work of 1,000 trees. It's an enhancement, an engineering improvement to a natural system, a living tree that can pull carbon dioxide out of the air. Inside each of those discs are 6 of these leaves oriented around in a circle, kind of like the slices of a pizza. The tree's circular leaves are filled with materials that bind to carbon dioxide and pull it from the air.
So zero emissions are not enough. We will need negative emissions, which means the removal of carbon from the environment and their storage in some kind of reservoir. If we have enough negative emissions, we can counterbalance the emissions that we are still producing.
Yeah, I just think that's bullshit. And you would need every single one of these things to be run off of clean energy as well, otherwise you're just adding to the issue because they take energy to run. Yeah,
and reduce the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere.
There's a lot still to learn about removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. How do you feel about a technology that turns nature's abilities up to 1,000?
When we think about climate change, we need to remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. The most efficient way to remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere is to use photosynthesis. It's a natural process that's capturing CO2. Graphite is engaged in what's called durable carbon dioxide removal, and so what that means is we're preserving the carbon captured by plants, keeping it stored for 1,000 years, and we're doing it for the magic number of less than $100 a ton. This is a ton, 40,000 tons per acre of land. Yeah, you're not going to get that any other way. Yeah.
This is why they're putting up these mechanical atrocities that can clear more CO2 out of the air than 1,000 trees. They're harvesting the CO2, and they're repackaging it for their underground living, which they'll be doing once Satan is brought to the physical form. At least that's what they think. They're stealing the CO2 and telling us it's a problem. When it's
They're stealing the CO2. He thinks it's a it's a scheme. We don't have enough CO2 in the atmosphere, and these billionaires are stealing our atmospheric CO2. That's pretty good. That's pretty funny.
It's not, and it never has been. Ever.
Popular science, once again, global warming could be the best way to terraform Mars. Finally, finally, a good use for climate change. Finally, a good use for climate change. Because if you look at these things right here that are above you in the sky, pretty much almost every single solitary day, and you think that these wires with puffy stuff coming off them, these individual wires that go on for miles, are anything except chemicals and, worse, probably terraforming of our
I mean, it is chemicals. H2O is a chemical. Everything is chemicals.
planet.
All matter is chemical, rather.
I don't know what to tell you. You see, we haven't seen the sun here in Boston for about, I'm going to say, we've probably had a couple of hours in the last few weeks, but that's it. That's all we're allowed. That's all they give us. But let me show you some video and some pictures I took last night with a Nikon P1000. Shall I? This is last night, and as you can see, there's the ocean. This is actually Boston Harbor, and it is 9:15 at night. And as you can see, I'm getting really good footage of the sky completely and totally glowing. That's the night sky. This is over the ocean.
Oh, does he not understand? Yeah, when you're like near a big city, there's light pollution, and if there's overcast skies, it can make the light pollution look exacerbated because the light goes up into the cloud and then it, kind of, what's the word I'm thinking of? Profuses through the cloud. You know what I mean? I don't know the word I'm thinking of. But yeah, that's light pollution. Has he never been near a city before?
There's the Atlantic Ocean. See the giant void?
Diffuse. Thank you. It diffuses through it. There we go.
A little bit of a skyline right there, for instance.
This is something that transcends humankind and even life itself.
It gets worse in winter, too. Like in winter, when it snows, the light pollution gets even worse because extra light will bounce onto the snow and then up. So the light pollution in, like, a Midwestern city in winter is crazy.
The last time something so important has happened was maybe 3.5 billion years ago.
In the post-human era, we become Homo superior. We become a new species. We're talking about humanity.
Fucking hate Michio Kaku. Kaku! Miss Quilanius, thanks for 48 months, says, damn, has it been 4 years? Apparently. Happy fucking anniversary. That's crazy.
Becoming like the gods. What do you think?
Shut the fuck up, Michio Kaku.
TrueStream Media, again, I was on a radio show with Chris Hinckley the other day, and I discovered while I was on there that somehow I had been once again unsubscribed from TrueStream Media. It's what happens. It's what YouTube and Google do. So I discovered a video she put up back in September called Will You Worship the AI God? And it appears that even though TrueStream Media tries to stay out of the religious column, they're coming around. This AI...
Why do I hate Michio Kaku? I don't actually hate him. I'm a little annoyed by the... How do I put this? He's a futurist, so he talks a lot about the future in very speculative ways, but he doesn't always make it clear how speculative a lot of the things he says are. He also has lent a lot of people confidence towards string theory, because he's very into string theory, and he just talks about it all the time, and I wish he'd shut the fuck up. I don't hate Michio Kaku. He's entertaining. He's an entertainer, you know?
AI computing every single...
Yeah, sensationalist pop science stuff. I don't actually hate him as a person. I just find him indicative of a problem in science communication.
Solitary one of these creators, they have dropped the veil. They don't care. They're telling you that this will be a new god. These AI, artificial intelligence computers, aren't computers whatsoever at all. I've said this years ago. Anthony Patch agreed with me. I'll say it again. D-Wave, quantum computing, all of this is simply and only giving Satan the ability to interact with us in real time through technology.
If you think Satan is real, why do you think Satan wouldn't already have that ability? Freyline with 24 months says, oh look, 2 years of paying Hannah. Happy 2nd anniversary. Thank you very much.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Then do I hate Dr. Sam Beckett? He talks about string theory. His theory with string is different than the actual scientific string theory. Although, nice reference. That is a metaphor he used a lot, was the string in a circle. Different than Michio Kaku string theory.
And we were warned about this. All of this brings revelation.
Oh shit, I accidentally clicked the fucking buy BitChute gold thing. We can end that video anyway, but BitChute wants you to buy a membership, and that's annoying. It's the Nazi guy again.
5-3 November Echo Whiskey.
Oh, real quick, Green Guy says, I went down the carbon capture rabbit hole, then I discovered CO2 and other gases get absorbed by natural processes, but we're making more than we can be absorbed. If we just stopped flying, we would be good. So we will all die because we can't take a boat. Boats actually cause a lot of it too. Military vessels produce a ridiculous amount of greenhouse gases.
Sierra.net. That's the name of the website. I've just spelled it. I censor myself. 153 November Echo Whiskey Sierra.net. It's a video platform website, just like YouTube, but it's a private one. It's way smaller, so of course there's no comparison. It's privately owned by people who sustain it with private donations. The servers are based in Iceland, the small country in the Atlantic Ocean that has the same rights as the member states of the European Union, even though it's not part of the European Union. And it's approximately 330,000 people or so in Iceland. And now on this video platform website, of course, there's some channels, but I'm just gonna spell the 4 words of the name of the channel that I suggest you should watch, and I can't say more because I don't want it to be exterminated. So it's 4 words.
Ironic that the Nazi doesn't want to be exterminated, huh?
There's like a search keyword here section on the upper on the top of the page, so you just type in these words. It's 4 words. I'm just gonna spell them for you.
Okay, he's just giving recommendations for a fucking website. I'm moving on from that. Alright, real quick, I have to use the bathroom real quick. I'm gonna go pee while I'm gone. Cher will tell you about Ultraman The Adventure Begins, also known as Ultraman USA. Be right back. Okay, let's take a look at the next video. This one's entitled, What's Really Beyond the Ice Wall? So, flat Earth on the bingo card. Excuse me.
Previously on Beyond the Ice Wall, we began
Of course it has an AI voice.
questioning the
Uses AI on the bingo card. I just found this. What's this? What's this from? It's sticky. It looks like it's like a rubber thing that would go on something. What is this? Someone tell me what this is. I just found it on my desk.
official story of Antarctica. Is it truly a continent at the
Oh, it's one of the feet from my keyboard, probably. Yep, there it is. Fell off. Detective Hannah. Case closed.
bottom of the globe? Or it could be a giant ring of ice surrounding our world. I showed you images from different regions. Ross Ice Shelf, Barnes Glacier, and even the South Africa.
Trey says, oh my god, Hannah, I felt the need to share. The CEO at my work got a huge case of Scientology. They're not pamphlets, but they're bigger than pamphlets. I sent you a picture. Let's look. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's something. Those are quite large. That's not good. Wow. Your boss is fucking crazy. You gotta get out of that place. That guy's a nutbag. He's gonna... It's not good.
African station, all hinting at a towering ice wall stretching for thousands of miles. Heights of the ice walls are reported from anything between 50 feet to 6,000 feet. They don't tell you this. You were shown how the public is...
I mean, they don't tell you this because it's not true.
Misled,
At least not the way you're describing it.
into thinking they can just sail to Antarctica and start exploring inland. The reality is massive permissions, hidden checkpoints, and a tourist trail that never goes beyond the perimeter. You're not allowed...
This isn't even true! Are they still making this claim? This video is not old. This is from yesterday. Literally, the final experiment went to Antarctica. Went to, like, interior. You can do this if you have money. Like anything. You need money. They're still making this claim after the final experiment?
near the interior, not by ship, plane, or sled. We also
Night, Orion Cooper. Good to see you.
looked at the various restriction zones, ASBA, ASMA, and ARA, which make sure nobody goes poking around where they shouldn't. Even unclaimed land like Marie Byrd land is off limits. The official explanation of why it's unclaimed: it's difficult to access, as if the rest isn't. Some claim it's home to aliens, Nazis, or worse. Others say it's Lucifer's
I don't know if there's much worse than Nazis.
throne. And when governments lie,
Super Nazis? I don't know.
theories fill the void. We revisited Admiral Byrd's claims about land beyond the South Pole, larger than the United States, never explored.
He's
Funny
talking.
how all that talk
He's talking about Antarctica, you dipshit. He's saying Antarctica is bigger than the continental United States.
ended right after the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Ancient maps and writings, some of which I've shown you before, pointed to a different Earth, one with a ring of ice, mountain walls, and unexplored continents beyond. This wasn't just folklore. It was
a lot of old maps have "Here there be dragons," and old maps also have California as an island. Do you think that that's true, or do you think that map makers made stuff up when they didn't know things?
It was the accepted worldview just a few hundred years ago. And now here we are, with so-called satellites, science, and...
Green guy says with a tip, a shark Nazi. I don't know, at least a shark Nazi can't follow you on land.
7 decades of ice research that still won't let us take a commercial flight over the South Pole. Anyway, this is part 2 of the series. If you feel like you've missed anything, check out the previous video. The link is in the description. I recommend watching it to get the full picture. So, without further ado, fasten your pants and let's get started.
Fasten your pants? People normally say fasten your seatbelt, fasten your pants. Did AI write this as well as read it? Jesus. Okay, let's take a look at the video about dwarfs. Like fantasy dwarfs, not like dwarfism. You missed my sanity. I assure you, I'm only sane on the curve set by the videos we watch.
Why would a mountain on the border between Germany and Austria be off limits to the public if it were just a hill? Why?
I don't know. I don't know enough about it. That's a weird opening.
Why would there be an extensive cave system that is home to over 400 known caves?
Oh, I would guess then they don't want to go spend money looking for people who get lost in the caves, because I assume people would get lost in the vast, unexplored cave networks, and that's horrifying. I don't know who needs to hear about the Nutty Putty cave incident, but maybe give that a Google.
Reaching depths of 1,000...
Don't Google it if you're claustrophobic or afraid of spelunking.
1,148 meters. That was all just discovered in 1996. Old world dwarfs inside of a mountain. Are you ready? Who built the caves? Were these caves naturally forming? Of course not.
Chat, we have to go to these hills and say the word friendship and see if they'll let us in.
We know this because we are told that the Nazi regime constructed an elaborate network of tunnels and bunkers in...
Who says that? This is from ChatGPT, so I don't trust this. Can you give me actual sources?
Inside this mountain. Now, I'm going to ask you, did they build them or did they find them?
I don't even know if they're real. Stop using AI.
The tunnels were designed with high domed roofs, wide floors, and there were valuables found inside. Where only 2 entrances to the tunnels have been unsealed and open to the public today. They're still using this place today, and we all know it. What was found inside this mountain? And we found multiple mountains at this point all over the world that have
we found so many mountains.
Massive cities, they have buildings, and now we find domed roofs inside of a mountain. I told you we were just getting started. Anything and everything needs to be on the table at this point, where there are legends of Emperor Charlemagne sleeping within the mountain, cared for by dwarf-like creatures. What the heck did they find inside this mountain? And what's still there today that we don't know about? Why do these mountains have massive tunnels? They have buildings, as we've shown. Who is living inside as we speak? What's going on here in this place that we live? What are we being blocked off from? And why are these massive mountains, time and time again, restricted to the public by the military? The deepest and largest caves.
Because people are idiots and they're gonna go in there and try and make fucking TikToks or whatever, and they're gonna get lost, and then they have to spend $50,000 coming to find you.
System in Germany.
Because human beings care about each other, and if you get lost, they're gonna spend $50,000 to come find you, and it's gonna ruin everyone's week.
Where it is largely unexplored. Who is still living inside these mountain complexes? Who's in there? Is it just the military, or is there something much more going on inside?
Bittergrin says, I can't find any evidence of the mountain being blocked from the public. There's a cable car to the top. Maybe just the caves are blocked off? He probably got his information from ChatGPT, and he's probably primed his ChatGPT to give him conspiratorial information, whether he realizes it or not.
Legend may be more real than what we realize, telling us that there are small, powerful, and otherworldly
See ya, Amber Pretzels. Nice to see ya.
beings said to live deep inside the mountain, pale-skinned, wearing robes or cloaks, and possessing knowledge of time, healing, and energy manipulation. This is everything that we've discussed on this channel, especially in the cathedrals. Is the previous civilization still here, where Charlemagne, who supposedly sleeps inside the mountain until the final battle, could still be in there? And I'm not in the business of dismissing things without looking into it. The place is off limits to the public. So I'm going to dig deeper. Why was the Nazi military so interested in this mountain, where not only is it restricted to the public today, but in 2014, it became even more restricted than ever before, with reports of heightened restrictions, all for preservation yet again, where the locals believe that these measures aim to conceal undisclosed activities or discoveries within the
It's got, like, just the way that everything is phrased to always come to some sort of conspiratorial conclusion. I really think he's accidentally trained his AI chatbot to behave that way, because that's what he's looking for. That's not good. That's not good at all. Oh god, he's basically in a reinforcement loop with himself, and he doesn't even know it. AI is really not good for people, especially people who are crazy, people with delusions, people who are susceptible to, like, sycophantic, like, loops of, like, self-aggrandizement. These grandiose self-images they're providing themselves and having the machine feed back to them. That's not good.
Mountain, where somebody that we've all heard about was obsessed with this place. Why would he be so obsessed with the mountain if it was only just a hill, where it was his magic mountain? He called it the Sleeping Dragon and believed that it held mystical power. I wonder why. Did he?
Bittergrin says, in 2014 there was an accident in the caves that resulted in €1 million rescue. That's probably why they restricted them. Oh, there you go. I underestimated. I said $50,000. Apparently it was €1 million.
Figure out what was inside that mountain. He believed that the mountain had ties to ancient knowledge and the supernatural, the old world. These figures are depicted on the old world cathedrals. We have seen it all over the world. These are not myths, and they're not just art, as we're
You think that because someone made a statue of a thing, it's real? Oh boy.
told. And this is all in my opinion, of course, and you can believe whatever you want, as always.
Your opinion is uninformed, ignorant, and frankly crazy.
I'm never gonna tell anybody what to think. I'm just sharing what I found.
I'm just gonna beg the question and imply and put dramatic music over it to manipulate my audience into thinking what I have to say is more important than it actually is.
Where he said that the mountain held secrets of the past. Inside, this place that we live is so much more than what we're told. The fact that the military was so interested in this location in Germany, and still is to this day, is telling in itself. And this is when we go even further and find that in 1987, 3 German hikers went hiking on this mountain, where their tent and equipment were found intact, perfectly fine. But then the men were all missing. And then they just reappeared 3 months later on a ship in the middle of the Red Sea that's 2,375 miles away, where even their car was found parked right there at the site with no recollection of the intervening time. By the time that they got back from Egypt, after calling their families from the ship, claiming that they had no recollection of getting there, they of course altered their story, saying that they just traveled there They didn't have a passport, and they didn't have a car, and their tent was still on the mountain. What do you think? I believe that somebody told them to alter their story. It's incredible. And this is not the only time this has happened. This happens all the time. Where
Just a Peach says he really doesn't believe in imagination in any way. It's really crazy.
hikers are constantly reporting, experiencing sudden lapses in time while on the mountain. They're losing track of hours, and they're blacking out. And they awaken in entirely different locations, showing up in other countries. And I believe that this is happening so much more than we're being told.
For what reason? Because it's more dramatic to say it is. Fenekagami says, I'm so sick of this cowardice. If you're a brave truth teller, then say it with your whole chest. Oh, I agree. It's pathetic.
Account.
It's a rhetorical tool, so if you actually call them out on it, they go, well, I'm not telling anyone what to believe, which is total bullshit. You are intentionally editing this in a way to try and seem convincing. The second you are editing and adding dramatic music and all this stuff, you cannot claim you're just asking questions. There's a clear intent, and anyone who treats their edits and music and stuff as though they're neutral is full of shit and lying to themselves.
An engineer, a steel construction technician, and his experience at the mountain, I believe, proves that the old world civilization, they still may be here. And we are just getting started today. Welcome to episode 133 of my lunch break.
Freyline says, wait, are people not allowed on the mountain or not? No, stop pointing out the contradictions in his story. You're just supposed to be swayed by your emotions and his music that's so dramatic.
I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. What if your coffee didn't just wake you up, but it actually made you feel sharp, focused,
shilling / scamming on the bingo card,
and ready for the day? A rare, picked at peak right metabolism with batch.com. You can check out his app, and you can use iLunch insurance. Cat is gone. The public. How did he get to go in the mountain? And how was he allowed Shaba in the darkness? You guys are all awesome and helping this channel out a lot. Wolfgang Stadler, an engineer. He wrote books about his experiences at the mountain. He described encounters with individuals residing within the mountain. People that still think that they're in World War II. This is still going on. They're under some sort of trance, and they're oblivious to the passage of time, showing no sign of aging despite the significant time that's passed. Now, if this place is off
it's a fun idea for a short story.
Limits to the public, how did he get to go in the mountain? And how was he allowed to tell these stories? Wolfgang Stadler.
Have you considered he just made it up?
Was a trained steel construction technician and very likely could have been given government contracts or infrastructure surveys. And then he writes these books under the name of Stan Wolf, where he presents the information as fictional, avoiding legal issues.
Now he says this is all fiction, but I don't believe him. Okay, so it's fiction. You just want to claim it's real. You psycho! Bittergrin says, I can find people who still think the Civil War is going on.
His book, Gems of Dominion, was published in 2009. Now, all of this being said, I have no idea if there are actually things inside this mountain or other mountains.
You don't say.
Mountains all over the world. What I do know is that this place is off limits to the public. We can't just go walking around and go inside the complex. It is off limits. We know that military explorations were conducted within the last 100 years. We also know that a well-known figure stated that this mountain is a sleeping dragon, holding mystical power, and holds secrets of the past, with documented accounts of him referencing Charlemagne, the dwarf.
Does he not? It's pretty clear that the local legends about this mountain are, documented. I'd imagine there's a variety of stories and legends surrounding this because the mountain has some sort of cultural significance. You can find this all over the world. where there's specific mountains or lakes or some geographical feature that is notable, and you end up having legends and stuff, you know, come up around that because it's a part of people's world, so they start making stories about it. It's a thing people do. Doesn't mean the stories are real.
And the time
Does that count for this rock was a human, or does it have to be a human? Has to be a human.
anomalies. He believed that the mountain had ties to ancient knowledge and the supernatural. This is the old world. If
A lot of people believe a lot of stupid things.
militaries are restricting sites, if governments all over the world are extremely interested, and time again showing us that these are valuable locations for our research, then why in the world would we be dismissing it? They still do not allow us in these sites today. If there are small, powerful beings living deep inside the mountain, described as pale-skinned and robed, holding old world knowledge, old world healing powers, understanding energy manipulation. If these individuals are really here, I want to know about it. I'm not going to be dismissing things just because I've never seen it before or never heard about it in History 101. I want to know the truth, and that starts with asking questions. And that's what we've been doing all along. And I believe there are massive facts in play here. There is some
Real knowledge comes from great leaps of logic and jumping to conclusions based on half-formed questions you ask an AI bot.
something going on in this location that makes me really wonder about other locations that we've already looked into, such as Raven Rock, the Cheyenne Mountain Complex, or even the Hoover Dam. What old world technology has been found? What is really going on inside these mountains? And we see the same thing going on in Iran, where we know that they have mountains too, and things going on inside of them.
You're telling me Iran has mountains? Get them, boys!
We also know that that place, it has been in the news lately, where we are told that this location, they have elaborate networks of tunnels, high domed roofs, and wide floors. What's going on in there? Especially when we see that somebody built their so-called eagle's nest directly across from this mountain, just 6 miles away. He set up his eagle's nest, his mountain residence. You can visit this location today. They even have a restaurant, and it's a tourist attraction. And I'm guessing there are tunnels under there.
It's kind of gross that it's a restaurant now.
That connect 6 miles away.
I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking crazy, but I think that should either be a museum or nothing.
And it wouldn't shock me at all.
I don't know, though.
Visitors can tour the pumping hall. And of course,
Like, am I the asshole? It just feels in bad taste to be like, oh, Hitler used to spend time here, and I'm gonna eat some fucking schnitzel or whatever. Yeah.
Tunnels. Some tunnels. Some. Meaning that there are more. And you're not gonna get in the one that leads to the Magic Mountain. But we all know that it's there. It has to be. Access to the Eagle's Nest is achieved via Mountain Road, featuring 5 tunnels, a 124-meter long tunnel leading to a brass-lined elevator that ascends to the building itself. Again, was all of this built, or was all of this found? Telling us that all of this was completed in just 1 year. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but Hitler had a lot of power in Germany. He was the Fuhrer. If he said to do something, people did it, including, you know, really terrible things. I don't think it would be an issue for him to get them to build a fucking place on a mountain. Was it easy? I doubt it, but those people's lives depended on it, so they got it done.
1937 to 1938. Are you sure? So-called Magic Mountain, according to a German FOIA request, is restricted to the public. You can't go in there. And there are even recorded denials of SAR imaging. Denials coming from German and Austrian authorities after 2014. Was this 2014 incident a real event? Or was it a stunt to restrict it even further to the public than what it was before? To restrict the use of satellite radar mapping. The use of satellite radar mapping have been blocked all for environmental and historical preservation. Preservation, conservation, protection. 3 words that restrict the public from seeing the truth. Over and over, we've seen
the truth of these caves. Fenekagami says, "Hey, bud, are you going to climb to the top of Mount Fuji and look for the remnants of the potions of godhood that were supposed to have been burned there?"
this for years now. The exact same words.
Don't give him ideas.
Every single time, in every country, and every topic that we bring up. Preservation, conservation, and protection. And before we go even further, let's take a minute and thank all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, and every single subscriber. I appreciate all of you. It's awesome watching this community get bigger and bigger every single day. We are on YouTube. We're on Rumble. We're on X, Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify. If you're looking for even more content from us.
No, thank you. I think I'm good. We already watched the first part of this, but I wanted to watch a little more. This guy's talking about how to deal with demons.
These damn Dracos are fucking nuts.
True.
Don't talk to them.
Reptilians on the bingo card.
If you see him in the 4th dimension, don't fucking talk to him. Get the fuck away from him. Or kick his ass. Seriously. Reptilians, they are the actual, they are the Nosferatu, the vampire.
Oh no, vampires on the bingo card!
Okay? That's why you guys have so many fucking vampire movies every fucking year. More and more of these movies. And all these...
Nosferatu in Venice! That's the closest Nosferatu movie I have to me. We did it.
Movies about some kind of shadow entity moving around scaring people in their house.
I still haven't seen Robert Eggers' Nosferatu yet.
It's in relation to... It's both in relation. Y'all can't even see that.
There are more than one. Yeah, there's the original silent Nosferatu. There's the why am I blanking on the fucking guy? He did Grizzly Man. He was in The Mandalorian. The fuck is his name? I'm the movie person. I'm supposed to know this. I have a whole box set. Werner Herzog. There's the Werner Herzog Nosferatu. There's Nosferatu in Venice. There's the recent Nosferatu. Those are the Nosferatu movies, I know. There might be more.
Okay. Let's deal with the Palladian. We'll go back to the reptilian a little later on, because there's a lot of information on reptilians. Oh, so much. Reptilians. Okay, let's leave those alone. Palladians. Somebody in the comments section asked me, why do Palladians look like Caucasoid people? Why do they look Caucasian? Why do they have the blonde hair, the white hair, the blue, green eyes, and all this stuff? Why is it that they look like Caucasians? Because it don't make sense how they could look Caucasian, but yet Caucasians come from the black man. So how...
So he believes in aliens and the Yakub stuff. Interesting.
How can they possibly look this way? Okay. When the Lord was creating a lot of beings, he didn't just want to create... See, are Palladians human? They're humanoid. That doesn't mean that they're human. Their inner biology is different than regular human beings. Now, I'll be explaining a little bit on that right now.
Please do.
But Palladian women are far stronger than normal human women right now. Okay, they're far stronger. Trust me. Like, Palladians have their own language. Obviously, they have their own customs.
Did a woman beat him up once and he's butthurt about it? So he's like, she was a Pleiadian. Pleiadians are stronger than humans. That's why.
They come from a different a planet that looks somewhat similar to Earth. They're also very different as well. Like, if you go to their planet, you'll see, like, their planet has, they have cars like we do. But their cars be floating in midair. They have hoverboards and stuff like that.
I don't think that's very, flying cars and stuff I kind of get. Hover cars? That never seemed energy efficient to me. Why are you gonna have all that energy just to keep it floating? That doesn't make sense.
And like, you know, like they be having their own kings and queens in those places, but the real king and queen of the universe.
They haven't developed a republic form of government yet? They're still on monarchy? They're in space, but they're still on monarchism. Okay.
Is the Naga serpent. The Naga serpent is an angelic being that's actually a god, and this being is the ruler of the galaxies in the universe, and he's the true king of everything.
I didn't vote for him.
So a Naga serpent king can take a demonic form, but he's not a demon. But he looks very much like one when he gets mad and changes into that form. Have I ever seen what a Naga serpent is supposed to look like? Of course. But leaving that aside, I just wanted you guys to know that the true king is that of the universe in darkness. That's what the true king is called, a Naga serpent king, or a Nagini's serpent queen. These are the rulers of the galaxies. And they are Anunnakis, yes. Are Palladians Anunnakis?
He's like, that's a tough question. Give me a sec. I gotta mentally prepare.
Because they're humanoid doesn't mean that they're an Anunnaki. You have reptilians that are humanoid because they have Anunnaki blood in them. Yes, some Anunnakis have mixed their blood with reptilians. Some did. Not that many, but some did. This is where you get your Lucifer from. Okay?
I'm sorry. This is feeling weirdly like a white guy talking about how like coffee ads with an interracial couple is like trying to promote miscegenation or something. Like, it's just very weird that he's like, some of these Anunnaki, they don't have the pure Anunnaki blood. They've mixed it with the Pleiadians.
Azazel.
Ah!
Yeah, Azazel, Lucifer. That's his. Nahaj.
Azazel isn't Lucifer.
Whisperer. Yeah, a dark-skinned, melanated person who looks. He has that. You know, he has that hairline that's just strikes right out. You know, like your Dracula movies. There's a reason why they have that like that. His hairline is different. He everything about him screams vampire. Even his teeth are sharp, like fucking, you know. And he has the same mindset that a reptilian has. This is why he fell from grace. This is why Lucifer fell.
Because he was looking for a heat lamp?
What's wrong with that nigga? Something is fucking wrong with him. I don't know.
That's a funny thing to say about Satan. Something's just wrong with that guy. That's Satan. Something's wrong with that boy's head.
No. But, you see, he was an archangel too. Lucifer works with your reptilians. See, the reptilian army, they showed up on the Palladian planet, right? I forgot the name of the Palladians planet, but they live somewhere in the 7 sea stars of Pallades. And you have other beings there, like the Minotaur. You know, you have other beings there. You have the female Minotaurs as well. And they come from a star constellation called Aldebaran. But leaving them alone for now.
But they came from the constellation Aldebarge.
The Palladians, Palladians not only look like white people, but their hair strands are different than ours. See, there was a man that reported that the hair strands of the Palladian, he met Palladians, they came to his house. They intruded in his house, they were talking to him, and he said that a Palladian woman grabbed his head and placed it in her chest, and he was trying to get away. He couldn't. She was too strong for him, and he tried to bite through her you know, her stomach or whatever, you know. And when he bit her, he tasted like a very sulfur like it was a taste that really killed up his taste buds. It was so bad. The taste was so bad. And, you know,
Benigami says black people are on average as weird about interracial relationships as white people. I don't know enough people in general to make any statement on that.
Like, fuck.
I wish people would chill the fuck out, though. That'd be cool. Who the fuck cares?
Him up real bad, too. Like,
I'm tired of racism. Hot take. Racism bad.
And the hair strands. He found some hair strands near his testicles because this woman wanted to fornicate with him. Yes, she wanted to have intercourse with the man.
Gasp.
The guy kept saying that he kept seeing UFO sightings. Every few months he would see the same UFO come down. And then they eventually intruded in his house.
How does he know it's the same UFO? What if it's just the same make and model?
And the woman wanted to have intercourse with the man. For whatever reason, the other Palladians just kept staring at him. They just kept looking at him.
They like to watch. They're voyeurs.
Say anything. They just told him what to do. And he felt like
they're cuckolds. They're alien cuckolds.
He had no choice.
Don't kink shame the aliens. We need first contact to go well.
And he was trying desperately to fight back. But he couldn't. And the reptilians have told the Palladians that, you know, human blood and human flesh is a delicacy and that you should have some. And then the Palladians were like, really? You know, are you serious?
That's weird. That's weird, man. We're gonna stop coming over here. Stop inviting us to your weird parties.
You fucking serious? I mean, I wouldn't think, and they're like, yo, you gotta try it. It's the best, man. You know, these stupid humans don't even want to get right. So what's the fucking point of even saving them? And the Palladians were like, you know what? You're right. Fuck them. Fuck them. They don't want to get right. They want to keep ignoring the obvious signs that are being left in these crop circles. They want to ignore every single freaking...
Yeah, you're ignoring my crop circles. I'm gonna eat your ass. You're gonna ignore my fucking crop circles? I'm gonna eat you with barbecue sauce, you stupid homo sapien piece of shit.
Thing, and they don't want to understand nothing. Screw them. Fuck them. Let's enslave them as well. So...
I'm gonna be honest, if all it takes is people not receiving your message for you to be like, fuck it, let's enslave them, I think you were a bad person all along, whether you're an alien or a conspiracy theorist.
All Palladians evil? Absolutely not, but the ones that mess with your Archon minions, the Devil's minions, really, yes, they are evil. Also, Palladians don't need sunlight. They don't need much sunlight at all, people, to survive. So, you know, if you were on a planet where there wasn't sunlight, you would die. They wouldn't. There's Palladians that have red eyes, too. And white hair. You know, like,
okay.
You know, there's Palladians that they really take the word albino to another extreme. Do you understand? They take the word albino to another extreme. I mean, you know, you have Palladians that look so much like a human, like. But the thing about Palladians is that they be looking like they be looking perfect sometimes. Like, not perfect as in, but like the symmetry to their facial structure. And like they look flawless in a way. They look flawless in a way. And also, Palladians don't act like normal human beings. They act very odd. Palladians...
I don't even know what that means. Human beings act odd. What are you talking about?
A lot like your Barbie dolls. You know Ken and the Barbie dolls? Imagine that alive in front of you, talking to you.
I've seen the movie.
Not acting like a normal human person. You could tell by the facial structure alone, this is not a human. It's not normal. Something about them looks too much like a doll. Do you understand? You see, insectilians or insectoids, they're the lowest of the low. Seriously. They're the ones that have you guys watching this TV programming. With the antenna, where do you think that comes from?
You think a non-insectoid would invent the TV antenna?
The insectilians, they vibrate at the lowest frequency of all demons, of all demonic entities. The insectilians, They vibrate at the
Aliens or demons on the bingo card?
lowest frequency, which means they're one of the worst scum you could possibly run into. Approximately the majority of all the insectilians are evil. The majority of all of them. I'd say 10% out of the 100 are not. The majority of all of them are evil. They're disgusting. A lot of them have human shapes. A lot of them are evil. They want to kill humans. They want to eat humans. They want to enslave humans. You understand? They want to do all kinds of damage to the human race. And they be torturing humans and doing experimentations on them. They have no sense of empathy. Just like reptilians, they have no sense of morality whatsoever. And also another thing, insectilians are retarded. That's another thing.
Boo! Strike one.
And insectilians the majority of them are retarded. They're mentally.
Strike two.
Retarded. They're mentally.
Strike three.
Challenge. They have mental problems.
What an interesting fella with some interesting beliefs. Jesus Christ. Alright, I think that's probably a fair place to end today. Oh, I'm tired, man. Was that like 6 seconds? Yeah, that was a triple in terms of immediate strikes. Jesus. So that's tinfoil for today, I guess. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow to do the Rumble and BitChute ad stream. We're going to look at some of the weird, manipulative, conspiratorial, and just downright weird ads that play on Rumble and BitChute. So come hang out tomorrow for that. That'll be fun. Trying to think, is there anything else? I feel like there was something I wanted to say, but I couldn't remember what it is. You posted a new Judge Fleischer Sobsit vid in Discord? Cool. I'll take a look. Have a great night, everyone. Appreciate ya. Appreciate you much. And I'm glad all of you like the show. Or at least, enough to show up. Thank you. If you haven't already, consider giving me a follow here on Twitch or a subscription on YouTube. I stream most days, so make sure you catch me. You can also join the Discord. Here's a link to that in both chats. That way you can get a notification when I go live and also post about stuff and talk to people in the community. It's a lot of fun, so check it out if you haven't already. We'll raid Cooker 98. Why not?
No questions, please. Just on your knees. Blow, don't sneeze.
Loud. Oh, is he just on a thing? Okay, he's not doing anything right now. Maybe we will raid someone else. Alrighty. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. Gosh, there was something. What was it that I wanted to say? I just cannot remember. It's gonna drive me crazy. The second I turn off stream, I'm gonna remember. I know it. It's gonna bother the fuck out of me. Have a great night, everyone, and it's good to see you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.